Hello, everyone, and welcome to Baldur's Gate Framed. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Chris, and I will be your Dungeon Master for this evening, and we're pleased to be streaming at twitch.tv/adventurerswanted and twitch.tv/D&D. D&D. There we go. For those who are... What happened? What did you do?
No.
Really?
Also, in the camera, do we have to do it backwards?
They weren't doing it backwards. They weren't gang signs.
We have now legit opened, all right?
Sorry. Chris, please continue.
Thank you. For those who are new to Dungeons and Dragons, we are playing a tabletop role-playing game where we roll dice to see what we do. The players have character sheets in front of them based on, we tell them what they are allowed to do. 9 times out of 10, they're adding a number off that sheet to a 20-sided dice roll. It's one of these, and that will determine whether they achieve what they want to achieve or fail miserably. I handle everything else in the world, including the people they encounter, all the situations they find themselves in, and the weather.
Yeah.
And I've been told to focus on the weather, so I shall be focusing on the weather. In fact, I'm going to make myself a note.
Last week it was apparently balmy, so...
And we had some internal weather as well.
We also
that wasn't good. Things dripped.
The weather makes me weaker. Oh well. Makes
Anyway.
go invisible.
That was in case anyone had found this channel and wasn't aware we were streaming D&D, which we will be shortly when we stop arsing around.
Right.
Anyway,
In about an hour.
In about an hour. You are joining us for the 9th chapter of Baldur's Gate Framed, so if you're coming in at this point, there's a lot of story that's happened up to this point. I will do a pressy before we get started, but... I would strongly advise heading to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/adventurerswanted, where there is a playlist of all of the ones we have done so far, and you're welcome to pick up there. And if not, hope you enjoy tonight and we have a bit of fun, and then maybe catch up what's happening later. Probably the best way to do it, I guess. Watch now, catch up later. Yeah, there we go. Good. Let's go around the table. Could you please give your name, your pronouns, your character's name, their pronouns, and a quick visual description, please. Starting this time with Jaya.
Oh. Hello, my name is Jaya Baldwin. I use he, him pronouns, as is my character, Cohen Teagveld. He is a green tiefling with quite sort of pointy forwards horns. He's got black eyes with red irises. He wears a sort of purple waistcoat with a little kind of blue sort of small cravat. And yeah, he looks quite smart. But at the moment, he's in a disguise self form, I believe, and therefore will look like a slightly...
You're about to long rest, so...
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Every time, yours just...
He's good looking.
He is good looking. He's canonically good looking. Yeah, absolutely.
Making me blush.
My name's Steve. I use he, him pronouns, as is my character, Abernathy Whistlepocket, who is a kind of just shy of 5 foot dwarf with a bald head and a long ginger beard streaked through with grey and kind of braided in an intricate manner, wearing a kind of collarless white shirt and a now patchy waistcoat which has seen better days. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Sharmony.
Hi, Sharmony.
Hi. I'm telling you. I use she, her pronouns, and so does Shakti. Shakti's the coolest, but not as cool as Lilith. Oh, okay, she's not the coolest, but she's like top 5 in the coolnesses. And she has like a nice red kurta with like a little shell necklace, and she's got some really cool braids because Lilith like made her look really smart, so she looks badass now, so she can be badass like Lilith. And she's a human sorcerer.
Lovely, thank you. I'm the DM. I play a lot of different people. I use he and they pronouns. Hello.
Hi. Hello, I'm Anna and I play Lilith Royer. They and I both use she, her pronouns. I see how that went the wrong way around.
Hey, they just mean they don't necessarily know what gender they are. It's fine.
She's confident of her.
Good.
It's going so well.
And you? Yeah.
Lilith wears a long green swallowtail coat with a kind of pink shirt underneath. She has 2 rings in her lip that connect to her ears, and also wears around her neck her arcane focus, which are her 2 engagement rings for her 2 fiancés. She's also got very blanket white eyes with no irises.
That's very cool. Hello, my name is Ed Cartwright. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character Violica Iodash, who is a very tall drink of water with a shock of white blonde hair. And very startled wide blue eyes. And he's would be dressed in the utmost finery, but considering what we've been through over the past few days, I think it's probably just quite ragged now. Yeah, I can't sort of imagine. He's not looking his best, basically. He hasn't had a wash in some time.
I use prestidigitation all the time. You're so damn clean.
Yeah, it's fair. Also, your foot's kind of mangled.
That is true.
Yeah.
He's just mangled.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Got mangled by
The acid.
I know, Lakshmana stopped him from being poisoned.
Yeah, that was
But still mangled.
It was really important as well. Yeah, kind of hobbling.
Yeah, none of the other rest of us were really helping you at all.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Good. Right, before we kick off, this stream will run for approximately 3 hours, and there will be a roughly 5 to 10 minute break somewhere near the middle. As improvised, we can't say exactly where that's going to be. We are delighted to be sponsored. We are sponsored by 2 wonderful companies, D&D Beyond, who do all of our digital character sheets, and there's a Twitch extension next to Sharmini and Ed, where you can click on the said digital character sheets and see who these characters are and what they can do, with some lovely artwork by Grace Wellsmer in there as well. D&D Beyond offers an official online rules compendium for all of Dungeons & Dragons characters, monsters, magic items, everything you could possibly want in one easy, accessible place. It's really brilliant, and if you play D&D, it is a really great way to share the game with your friends. So I strongly recommend you check them out at dndbeyond.com. There it is. We're also sponsored by Ultra Pro. Ultra Pro make D&D games accessories, including this amazing Xanathar dice bag. We've been giving one of these away every episode of this stream of Baldur's Gate Framed. So if you'd like to win one, you have to join us in the Twitch chat. Just say hello, say nice shirt, Jaya. You know, whatever. That's good. Say good. Join in the chat and say something lovely. Or say nice jacket, Anna. That's true. It's a very good jacket.
That's a very nice jacket.
That's good. Yeah. We've also been naming our beholders, and we need to give a name to this.
Biggles Biggleton.
Yes.
I was going to go with Fossil Bee Babies, but that's
Fossil Bee Babies.
Aww.
Biggles Biggleton is also good.
I'm going to go with Bingo Star.
Bingo Star.
But I thought it had to be B and B. So it has to be
Wasn't when we started.
At least one B. Just one B.
Started off with the 1B and then we kind of expanded into 3-word names.
Look, we've got a couple of
Possibly
choices.
Babies is pretty good.
Steve, as the wisest of all of us, choose one of those two.
Is that just... Yes.
Steve, who before the stream said, "Oh, I don't want the pressure."
I don't know, because you're nearest me, but you're more terrifying.
And I'm in the race too.
You are also here.
It's fine.
I'm going to go for Sharmani's.
If you'd like to win...
Let's guilt you into that.
Yes.
Wow.
Soft
really
touch.
feel like a win at this point.
If you'd like to win this guilt-laden dice bag, Bingo Star, then please join us in the Twitch chat. Just comment and you will be messaged over Twitch Whispers, I believe they're called, the private messages, but yes, join us. Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Next time, let's make that less contentious, shall we?
What did you look at me? I'm doing you did that.
I did nothing. I just...
Destroyed our world again.
With which we could destroy ourselves.
Yes, this is what the DM does.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean. That is absolutely correct. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters of a gender that is not their own, and while we try and avoid misgendering and will correct at the table, we do... It does sometimes happen, no way around it. If you think we've missed an opportunity to gender someone correctly or misgendered a character, please make a comment in the Twitch chat or let us know via our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing. Get in touch, let us know. We don't want to be making any kind of errors on that front. Anyway, without further ado, it's still balmy.
It's balmy.
Done my job, weather fans. Done my job.
Weather fan. And we're all
also
having a long rest, aren't we?
Yes, you are currently in the neighbouring house to House Tillerton, which is where one of Lilith's fiancés, Alethra, lives. This house that is neighbouring is Not part of House Tillerton. It is simply a neighbouring estate, but it also contains a secret tunnel to House Tillerton, thus allowing you to have a place you can stay out of the prying eyes of the guards who still think you murdered someone and want to catch you for it, and the Flaming Fist who still think you murdered someone and stole some items and want to catch you for it, and the Cult of the Dead 3 who want the items that they think you stole but you didn't. It's been going well for you.
Oh yeah.
We've barely done anything.
I know.
If this is your first episode you're watching, we have done things.
Just didn't achieve anything.
Anyway, you arrived at this neighbouring house to House Tillerton sort of middle of the night. We were sort of 1-2 in the morning. It was relatively, so you've been travelling through the night through the city, through a series of lucky escapes.
Yes.
Burn that dice. You've managed to make your way into the upper city of Baldur's Gate and have a plan you are about to enact. Try and change all of these people who think you are involved in a terrible crime into either catching each other, dealing with each other, or at least clearing all of your names.
That's the plan.
Yes, and I think you should probably discuss that in character. As you are in this house, Alethra is still with you. She has been going through this spell scroll that Lakshmana, one of your allies in where's he from? Rivington. Thank you. In River Run, Rivington. That he gave you, which is a scroll of seeming, which will allow you all to appear as something that you are not without concentrating on a spell, and it lasts for a very long time. So it might be a very good way of avoiding some of the guards as you talk about your plans. What are you all discussing as you take a long rest in this house as you prepare to enact whatever plan you are forming in the morning?
Are we picking up where we left off?
Yeah.
And then Viorica was like about to die, and then Kyan came in, and he was like invisible. She didn't even know, and he was just like, "Oh,
we still need to make the plan for later. How are we going to get into the thing? We haven't finished yet."
Thanks for bigging me up as well.
Oh, and then also Lilith is like super cool. She punched this guy in the face, and like he was "Hey,"
Yes.
and then she was like,
Sexual harassment.
Exactly.
"Yeah," and then she was like, "Buy a dinner first," and it was you had to be there, but it was really cool.
Are you hitting people?
Yes.
Oh.
He had a
Saying
nosebleed.
kind of one-liners afterwards. It was very good.
Yeah,
Very
it was really cool.
All right.
I didn't see that bit.
It was all very tame.
That's
so
why that
cool.
lot were so angry.
So,
Yeah, that's what I was.
okay, you have a spell scroll of seeming, which you're going to use to disguise yourselves as...
my siblings.
I'm a foot person.
Yes.
So,
So your siblings...
Sorry, the names are completely gone out of my head.
Faravel and Shaden.
And I presume that one of you is going to be Thadavar, one of you is going to be Shaden?
Yes,
That's correct.
I will be. Thadavar.
You're right there. What happened?
I'm a foot person. I'm going to draw a picture of me as a foot person.
Okay. So you're going to be pretending to be one of your siblings and your presumably other bardic friend the other?
Yes. That I think is the plan. We still don't know. Are we still going to use the box?
The box?
The box. We're going to take something to the vault
What's in
rather
the
than just
box?
turning up and saying.
We don't have anything to put in the box now.
This is what Why not trying to bring it up?
Do we have a box?
We do. Do we not even have a box?
I assume whatever we would get
I'm
would come in a
sure
box.
I could find a box.
That would be great. If we could start with a box. That would be at least a beginning.
Why do you need a box?
Because at some point we'll get something that will need to be put in a box.
To take into the Hall of Mystical Wonders.
So you're going into the High House of Wonders.
High House of Wonders.
Disguised as your siblings
Yes.
and an
We're
entourage
taking-
of foot people.
yes. To go to the bank, as it were, and
It's a vault
secret
underneath
vault.
it. It is a
yes.
secret vault.
It's,
So.
yes, but it's it.
Oh, it's a secret to no one, I know.
Exactly. So we'll take them a certain item that might be worth something.
If you're pretending to be them, surely you just turn up and say, I'd like access to my vault, please.
They may require. That's true. I really hope it goes that easily. But they may require passcodes and things, or some kind of. Well, I suppose just being us might be enough. But
Well, that isn't necessarily a problem. You're,
No, exactly.
yes, Lilith's quite expert at reading minds. So
Yes.
passcodes. That will.
It's not
very
really a
well.
problem.
All right. Well,
Is there some kind of
let's,
physical key or something like that?
Not as far as I know, but I don't. History check.
Sure, why not?
Pretty
That's
sure.
part of the game. Ooh.
I think that's a 21. It is a 21.
Oh,
Yes.
you remember.
Do I?
Now, you've lived with your siblings for quite a long time.
Indeed.
And Shaden is notoriously fastidious and reserved and doesn't tend to engage you much on what he does.
Yes.
But you do... Shaden wears religious symbology of Gond, and the High House of Wonders is a temple of Gond.
Yes.
So you could possibly make some connections between the kind of things that he wears and the kind of things you may need for this temple. In fact, you distinctly remember that around his belt he had a symbol of Gond made of bronze that was different from the one he wore around his neck and looked almost key-like.
Indeed. Right, now that I've summoned the memory back, we need a symbol of Gond, preferably bronze that looks a bit like a key. I've got a memory of it, so hopefully we can recreate it. Does anyone know how they could recreate such a
I'm
thing?
guessing a minor illusion won't do it.
Probably we need something physical.
Well, I'm sure it can seeming not make that part of our outfits.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me read the spell.
Excellent.
That would be very
But
useful.
if there's an actual lock, the key would go.
Well,
Well, I
exactly.
know, but like if it's not going to be the right thing anyway, then it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, if it is a key and we need to get into it, then having something that is bronze and looks like a religious symbol, still not the right key, is it?
Well, yes, that is
It disguises physical appearance as well as clothing, armor, weapons, and equipment. So you could, if you had it on you as your vision of Shaden, then you could presumably... Although, I am recognizing a slight issue here. If I'm to cast the spell, I will need to recreate Shaden, Tharavel, and 3 of their foot people from my memory.
Oh, no, I can... And then minor illusion.
Can you do
And
that
then,
as well?
And then spin them round
yeah.
like a 360 view.
Because I can do it from that's fine. But your version of Shaden will not be the same as...
My version. I don't have my illusion, I don't think.
What do you have?
Although I must know them quite well, both of them.
You've encountered them
seen the
before,
key thing.
but have you seen the key thing?
With the face, fine.
Can I do a history check?
You can.
Yeah,
I'll allow that.
because I've worked there a lot.
Or if you could like draw the key thing.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I
You're good at painting like
Mr.
Mr. Whistlepocket.
Well, maybe.
History, you say?
Yes, please.
19, I say.
Nice.
You could probably get a close approximation.
Like that?
Yes, nose a bit bigger.
No, too big. Skyrim character creation. No.
We should take an important letter to leave in the vault. And then we'll leave the letter in the vault. And then when they're like, "Where's my paintbrush?" They'll look at it and they'll be like, "What's this letter?" And I open it up and it just says like, "You suck."
Yeah, I mean, I like this.
Yeah.
I like
What?
this.
You're trying to steal the paintbrush from their vault to...
And tell them they suck.
But to create recreate the works
the
works again.
triptych, but
Yes.
not necessarily the same triptych, because that could cause a lot of death and destruction.
Yes, I understand. And you're going to recreate the triptych.
Apparently so, yes.
Right.
No pressure.
Oh, yes, I know.
Just to confirm something. Once you've recreated the triptych, you're then going to... There was some talk of hanging it in the Caldwell's gallery, which seems a little bit harsh.
I think you
No,
also
'cause you
suggested
said
maybe in the...
In the wide, like that
Hang
was
it in the
good.
middle of
I
the
like
wide.
it when you said that. That was clever because you're
Yes.
quite smart, so we'll probably just do what you say.
Much better than anything we came up with.
Oh, definitely.
We're not very smart.
Get them out in the open.
So if you're hanging them out in the open, does it matter if your siblings know that you've stolen the paintbrush? Because I don't know how long the recreation will take. How long would a painting normally take you?
Well, I mean, for a start, I only really do that. I can't really, like...
How long would a miniature of that size take you?
Well, I mean, I use a much smaller brush for one thing. And it's not sure how...
Comparative time estimate?
Yeah, how long...
Are we talking weeks?
Should I...
Yeah.
I think, I mean, how big
got
were
anything
the
else to do,
were
has
the
he?
actual triptychs?
Don't need any lubrics.
Oh, they were huge. They were like 5 foot wide.
Just one of them. Are they
Yeah,
attached?
they'd take a long time. Then
They're
to do
big.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if it'll take you a couple of weeks, leaving a note in your sibling's vault saying Yabu sucks might not be
not
particularly
the best idea.
helpful.
What's the range on finding out whether like there's a painting over there? Is it magic? How close do you have to be?
I
It
don't know.
depends if you're doing a certain spell or another certain spell. Detect magic is around about 30 feet. Like locate object is within 1,000 feet.
Well, I suppose the whole point of using Kindle's
Yes.
paintbrush, this strange
the
artifact,
magic
is to
anyway.
make the magic anyway, precisely. So they should hold up to that. I guess the question is the point of putting them out in the open to show that, one, you don't have them because they're out in the open, therefore the cult stops bothering you, and for two, to get your siblings to show their hand, and to thus get the guard and the Flaming Fist presumably to work together to arrest them.
That's
Yes?
in the best of all possible worlds, that's exactly
We're
what's
going to
happen.
tell... Someone's going to tell the Fist and the guard and be like, hey, the cult are after them paintings, and then they'll like run and try and get them, and then they'll be secretly arrested, and then they'll be like, oh my god, it was you all along, it wasn't those other people.
That's
That's probably what they'll think.
Yes.
That.
It doesn't... I mean,
there are lots of ifs. Really.
no, I understand that. I'm just thinking of... The cult want the paintings.
Yes.
The Flaming Fist want, and the guard, the police force, want to arrest you.
For murder.
A little bit, yeah.
So you need to prove that the murder was not predicated by you.
That...
Which might be more tricky if we're just putting a lot of paintings up, I suppose.
Well, no, not necessarily.
All right.
Not if you tell your siblings that they're there.
Right.
Not if your siblings are seen to be visibly in cahoots with the cult. Because...
Yes.
Also, as I understand it, you already mentioned to a quite high-ranking Flaming Fist that that was what had happened. You already tried to explain yourselves when you were arrested.
We've got to tell both. We've got to tell both people. We've got to tell the guards to be like, look out, they're there, and then we've got to like say to the cult people like, oh look.
So we need to tell the Flaming Fist first, so they can wait it out.
Yeah.
And then tell your siblings, and then when they bring along the cult.
Well,
Exactly.
we have an easy solution to that.
What's that?
Well, we know a Flaming Fist particularly well.
Yes.
That's very true.
So if Kara takes a message to, presumably...
The lady that we spoke to?
Liara, Captain Portier, yes. If a message is taken to her from, you, that you're going to flush out the real perpetrators of the crime, and this is the proof...
Yes.
Sure.
You could be arrested for trying to abscond with these paintings. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
A lot of pieces fall into place, doesn't it? All right, so you're going to use seeming to all disguise yourselves to get into the High House of Wonders, hopefully manage to make your way through to your siblings' vault, find the paintbrush within, make a copy, probably take a couple of weeks, I presume, so that will be... You'll need some sort of... You'll need someone to lay low.
I've got just like one question, because obviously this is a great plan, and like we've all been sorted out the plan. But if like the paintings are there, and like the cult are like, oh, let's go get them, and then they go get them, do they have to be the right kind of magic and made with the paintbrush and everything?
Yes.
So they'll notice it within a flash.
Yes.
I would.
Also, if they're magic, it's going to mean that they don't have to be quite as accurate as they would be otherwise, because people are just going
It's
to...
fine because
that's a relief.
It's fine because they won't actually get their hands on it.
Exactly.
And also, with the best will in the world, the paintings of Kindle are notorious as wonderful, engaging pieces of art, and Mr. Whistlepocket is a...
paint seller.
paint seller
copying
and
things.
what's it called?
Restorer.
Good at copying things.
So a copy,
What look like other things?
a magical copy, will presumably draw the same kind of attention if it has no effect at all. So
Hopefully. Oh, actually, you did say you might have some materials around, possibly?
oh, I've dabbled in trying to get involved in some painting before, but it's not really my No, it's a very fair assessment.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
I mean...
It's books for me mostly. Yeah.
I just wondered if maybe I could have some bits now. I think maybe at least starting to work on the composition of it all. And
You won't be able to enter the temple until the morning. It's shut overnight. So,
Sorry.
It's now.
This is just a
This is still
clarification
at
thing.
night.
Ah!
We have not yet
I
rested.
thought we'd already got up.
that's why it's dark outside, you see.
it's dark outside. It's still
I'm
balmy
so
summer
sorry.
weather.
His legs. hurt.
So while everyone is having a rest before the morning and before attempting this, maybe you'd like to practice?
I mean, yes, it would be good also. I mean, if you have any particularly old brushes, then I don't know if you could actually just replace the one that's there just as in case anyone opens the vault, because if it takes a while, then...
Do you remember what it looks like?
No.
I think part of the issue is that this is a magic item that will be glowing with magical energy. Like, not visibly, but if you are
Yes.
A caster like myself or Lilith. Or
I'm assuming there's going to be quite a lot of magic things in there, though. They're not all kind
presumably,
of
but
same
also
kind of.
it's worth a try. Why not?
Does Mr. Is Mr. Shaden good at saying magic things?
I mean, I have
Yes.
a certain spell that can make me literally make a non-magical object appear magical.
Oh,
How long does that work for? Is it up for like a couple of weeks, maybe?
24 hours.
Right, you see, that's putting quite a lot of pressure on you.
I'm just saying. It means I can make it an all false aura.
Do you have to do
So we can
all-
buy ourselves more time.
I mean, I suppose I could start to get the actual canvases ready tonight and
means
maybe
that-
primer them as well. And
Just do one of them and be like, oh, the other two are...
it means that they
Under a
wouldn't
bed
know
somewhere.
the item had been stolen for at least 24 hours. Gives you a head start. Because I presume you'll want to have a safe house where you can
Yes.
paint and lie low until this
Exactly.
all blows over. Frankly.
that sounds like a good idea.
Well, all right. I can help with that too. My family owns houses all over the city. That's how we've raised our fortunes. So there are plenty of abandoned houses. We'll you can stay in one and be moved along quietly if necessary. I think I can help you. Look at me getting all involved in a criminal conspiracy.
I know, look at you.
No.
It suits you.
Yes, well. Right.
That
Well-
kind of excitement of the danger soon wears off, you see.
No, it doesn't.
It just then becomes terrifying on a moment by moment basis.
I feel like you've always had a bit of a nervous disposition, though.
You've got nothing to base that on. You're entirely correct, but I don't think you've got anything to base it
I
on.
think I've got the past few days to base it on.
Oh, I mean, that's not exactly kind of the same as the rest of my life has been, I'll tell you that much.
Well, that sounds like a worry I'm not going to think about. So, yes, I'll ask the butler to bring through some paint supplies for you, and if you'd like to, as you say, primer or things like that, that's whatever. I'm not a painter, so you can have a go there.
Start? I might need a hand. Never mind.
Tell your butler not to dob us in, though.
Oh no,
No,
completely reliable. Not a problem there at all.
my nose. If he gets his hand caught in the cookie jar again, he'll know. He knows.
Yes, quite. Sorry, that sounds like an innuendo, and it isn't.
It's not.
It's a literal cookie jar.
That's literal.
In that case, it
There's
sounds
bubbles
like
in-
quite a harsh punishment for stealing a biscuit.
Yes.
No, just butlers are also paid for their discretion. Nothing to worry about there. Right. I will.
Can I get paid for the discretion?
I don't. If you ever have any.
We'll work on it.
That's harsh.
Oh dear.
So, am I doing the false aura magic or not?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Am I taking it as a spell? Because I need to know before.
Yeah.
I need to
Right.
pick spells.
I think we should do that.
Yes.
I think it's not a bad idea.
All right.
I mean, maybe prep it and then we use it in the place itself if we find that one of the brushes happens to look like the brush that we're trying to steal from the place. I should learn the names of things more.
Yes.
A good backup plan.
All right then.
There you go. Right, well, I'm going to retire. There's beds in here, but they're not very well kept. I could
still be very, very happy in one.
Well, I'm just wondering if I can get them made up for you. Just quite late.
Your rocker to sleep on the floor. He wasn't very good at it.
On the floor. How quaint. Right, well, I'm going to go upstairs. This is yours. Please do what you need in here. There's rooms. They're not particularly well looked after. Like, they won't have been cleaned in a couple of weeks. Sorry about that, but they are perfectly serviceable if you beds and that sort of thing. Are you staying here? Or are you...
Well, that was kind of up to you, really.
Oh,
I'd like to.
stay here?
No.
Okay. I'm going upstairs now. Reach that hand.
Bye, guys.
They both leave.
Oh, so if anyone attacks us, we'll just scream a lot. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say that sentence. Never mind.
Doesn't go both ways. Yeah. What are the four of you doing?
A whole house, and it's huge, and it's got beds, and it's like basically ours, just like temporarily. Like, we're rich. It's pretty temporarily. Best stuff.
Whilst understanding how clean I am, I'm still going to go and have a wash. This is the thing, I understand, and thank you very much for the prestidigitation. It's just
I'm not there.
There wouldn't be. Where would you be getting the water from? I'm assuming there wouldn't be taps. It would have to be.
No, draw a bath.
From where?
This is my point. Is there a well?
People to do this for you here. That is the problem.
This is an abandoned house that is being generally well kept because they can't stand the idea of it being too messy. It's not got water in it.
So in which case he's going to go off and try and do all the things and then realise that actually he can't and come back feeling a little bit...
There are multiple bedrooms. It is basically an abandoned manor house, so you could find somewhere to sleep.
I tell you what Viorka's going to do is he's going to start going through wardrobes.
I was going to say.
Can I suggest that maybe we don't...
It's so big.
I know, it's very big. But that might be a problem, because then, we're divided up if we all go into different apartments.
You've all got to share a bed again.
I wasn't thinking bed. I mean, you can have your bed and then someone else can have another bed. I was just thinking either right next to each other with an adjoining door, or maybe in one of the larger rooms we all just bed down in different corners.
All right. I really want a bed though.
I want to sleep on one of the bouncy mattresses.
All right, look, I'm sure we can fit everyone's desired bedding into one room, and I just go and find the nearest
This
single.
stream is so great right now.
I go and find the nearest single bed and literally just begin to drag it towards a larger room.
Yes, you do.
Supposed to be all right. Should I give you a hand?
Slightly caught off guard.
Start clapping.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, if you want.
All right. And they're gonna go and help. And I'm so much worse than useless. Just getting in the way. Yeah, I'm actually quite a serious hindrance.
Putting both hands on one corner makes the whole thing tip. So if you could just.
Which corner? Oh, like this. Crack. Oh.
All right. No,
Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. You tried. I'll do it.
Thank you.
I'm very strongly reminded of holidays we've taken together.
Yes.
Yes, that is true. Never say I don't put my heart and soul into my character.
No, don't sit on it.
What? Oh, is this that slat thing? Oh, right, I see.
This is that slat thing, eh?
I'm going to try and pull a mattress off because I think that'll be easier to carry. I'm going to try and drag a mattress.
Do you need a hand?
Please don't make too much noise. Please don't make too much noise. She goes up into the bedroom.
Sorry, what did you
need a hand?
I'm fine. Fine.
All right.
Alethra comes back in. Are you? Oh. Here's what I could rustle up. It's a small canvas, about 2x4, nothing major, and about 3 or 4 paintbrushes that are very nice quality, but they've not been cleaned properly.
Right. Do you have any paint and water, maybe?
Oh yes. Sorry, in the back. And takes out more, just a small basic palette, and there's a. Oh, hang on. Goes out, comes back in with a small amount of water and places around here. There you go.
Right. Okay. We're going to need some bigger canvases for the actual thing, I think. But I can.
Well, I'd normally recommend buying them from you.
Well, I've started to see a problem.
I'm sure there are other. Do you have any rivals that you?
That's so much.
I mean,
That's really funny.
I don't know. I don't really shop for anywhere else. I suppose we can't really get down back to the market where I would usually get my supplies from.
I'll see what I can do. I'll ask one of the Caldwells.
Even if it's just the actual canvases and the frames, I can put it together myself.
All right. I will do some research. I like doing research.
We've got that impression. That'd be lovely. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Feel free to move the beds around and things.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I've just been standing in front of the mattress looking casual, just like...
Yeah.
We figured it might be safer to all stay in one place, you see.
Oh, no, I'm not one to judge. Right, sleep well.
Thanks.
Heads out.
Definitely very good impression.
Right, good night, everybody. See you in the morning.
See you in the morning, and whichever.
See you now.
You know,
It's
you're
the same
putting
place.
that into a room.
I was pulling a single bed for myself into a larger room.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the larger room and get into whatever bed is in there. Yes, this is mine. And I'm going to basically bedecked with lots of things that I've found.
Very Princess and the Pea right
Yes,
So you found the big 4-poster bed.
Yep.
Dragging in this little.
absolutely.
I'm going to push my mattress and slide it and make it an echo and be like, good night. And go to sleep.
Are there sheets and everything as well.
Yeah, they're a couple of weeks old, but no one's used them. They're still clean, but they're...
Cutie Charlie.
The best way to describe this is, this is our special secret house that it's our special like way-in house. But it can't be dirty. Like we have to clean it, make sure it's not terrible. Like it's clean bedding because no one's ever used it. It's a bit dusty in places, but not too bad.
I'd like to actually kind of rip up like a sheet into smaller pieces that I can kind of put, like fashion some kind of easel or something, and so I've got more stuff to actually practice on and then spend a good while actually concentrating on the different bits. But if you've got something for that, then yes.
She said feel free to move the beds, not feel free to rip up the sheets and paint on them.
I mean, yes.
I still think it's a good idea. You need to practice.
I'm sure they make enough money to buy a new one every time they sneeze.
They're probably rich people sheets. They're probably really expensive sheets.
They're not actually that much different from... I mean, they are just... whatever.
Sits in the bed, realises they're really, really nice and falls asleep.
It rolls over.
I mean,
What's the thread count on this?
That's what I was trying to remember the damn name for. Exactly.
Lilith did actually mend my waistcoat, so I'm sure after I finish them, she could like do that clever cleaning thing and then just mend them back together if they're needed. I mean, after all, there are only kind of spare sheets, aren't they? I didn't think there was...
Oh, you're right.
It's a very smart thought.
I think you're right.
Rich people might be...
It's fine. I'm sniggling down. I like sniggling.
So you're snuggling down to go to sleep.
Yes.
As are you. Any interactions between the three of you?
This is so civilized.
Good.
Yeah. Pretty much. Although I don't think Viorica snores.
Doesn't matter.
Viorica doesn't think Viorica smells.
He probably whiffles.
Yes.
That's very likely.
Spot on.
I imagine that actually the two of you make noises in different ways, but they're actually together. You see kind of-
Two bars, harmonious snoring.
Song of rest.
Wow.
No one else having any chat.
I think I'm pretty determined to get to sleep.
Great. Okay.
If someone talks to me, but...
That was incredibly passive aggressive.
I mean, that's...
Anyone talks to me.
No, his energy.
In here.
That's not what
I understand, sorry.
Alethra walks back into the room where she left you to take the paint back down. Are you in bed? What are you doing?
Stroking the sheets.
Don't worry, I'm not going to like full walk on this. I'm just...
No, I understand. I've probably gone and changed into my old nightwear and kind of done the thing of like, you know, when you've been out and like in torrential rain, as it is in England quite a lot at the moment, you get soaked through to the bone, and then you go and get like dry clothes on again. You're like, oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
It's basically like that. Like she kind of puts it on and weirdly feels home and yet out of place at the same time, and probably weirdly stands beside the bed, kind of waiting for her to come back.
Right, they're
Kind of like that.
They seem to be settling in relatively
They
well.
are going to make an absolute mess of that place, promise. But I can probably fix it.
That's what cleaners are for.
Well, I'm getting used to fixing things, or at least trying to.
New leaf?
New leaf.
Yeah, they pulled all the beds into one room.
They're nervous. Many things have happened, bad things, while we've been asleep. So, it makes sense.
What bad things?
Oh, a fire started once. That was quite terrifying. Someone woke us up in the middle of the night in the jail cell to then take us out of jail. That was pretty terrifying. Multiple different times, actually, in the past few days. It was quite scary.
I've been so worried.
Yes. Well,
Sits down on the bed, just...
I try and sit next to her.
Is this... Is this the life that you want to lead? Adventure, threats and murder investigations. Is this what you want? Because you appear to have walked into this and chosen to be there, and you don't seem that fazed, dear. You don't seem that scared.
Everything's an adventure. What makes this any different to seeing you in the morning?
The house doesn't tend to be on fire. I don't tend to be waking you up in a jail cell. I'm not saying I have a problem with it, because I don't, and you know that I don't.
You do, probably.
No, I don't. Lilith, I want to understand. Kara's very upset, and she's not upset with you. It's very important to make a distinction here. She's upset with the situation. I wish she was here to tell you. I don't like being the go-between.
Yes,
but
I wish she was here too.
Well, she's on patrol.
You know, you have lineage of your family, don't you?
Yes.
Multiple years of understanding and history and
Yes.
and who your family were, and
Yes.
that's probably why you love research, because you have it all written down in books and right at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
Kara has her family and the limited history in comparison to yours of where...
Well, it's an oral tradition. It's different.
Exactly. So she has stories.
Yes.
Wondrous, beautiful stories.
Yes.
I don't have any.
No.
I was basically adopted by some wonderful people.
I'm still looking. I haven't found anything yet, but I'm trying. Just that...
You know what happens when you have a bird and it flies free and it finds things and it risks things? If you keep it caged, it won't do any of that. It will just chirp away and start pecking at the bars.
Am I caging you?
No, not at all.
Is this life caging
No,
you?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying the fact that I don't know who I am feels like I'm being caged.
Okay. And is this helping you?
Apparently I've run its course of pretending I don't care. And I do.
Is this helping you?
Yes. But not at the cost of the two of you.
No. No. I don't want you to think that that's, frankly, even a possibility. I think it's a bit of a shock.
I'm pretty sure that once this is all over, everyone will go their separate ways. And we'd like to say that we'll all spend some time with one another, but ultimately we'll just probably not. And we'll see each other maybe on a few rare occasions, and it will be fun, and we'll talk about this like old friends. But unfortunately, I don't want to lose any of these people, but people make wonderful platitudes at the time and then they leave.
So how you feel about Cara and me as well?
No. But it is part of the reason why I'd like to get married so urgently.
Right.
Not because I don't love you, but because I love you so much that the idea of you flying away scares me.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm very happy. And I thought you were too. And I don't mean that in a...
I am happy. I can also do other things and be happy at the same time.
But this is part of the life that you want.
Potentially. Honestly, I'm far too in deep right now that I could say anything, and it could be because I'm possibly in shock.
You're not marrying into my life. I'm marrying into yours. You understand that, don't you?
No.
I do not expect you to want to come and live in this house. I don't expect you to want to spend time pretending that we can all live in the upper city and it will all be fine. I don't expect that. But if we're going to be adventuring across the lands, then I need a bit more time to prepare myself for that mentally, darling.
That would be great.
Put an arm around you, and that's what we'll do.
I love you.
I love you too. I have to find a way to put a lot of books into one bag.
Well, you know, there's a thing called a bag of holding, I've heard, which is a wondrous thing.
Lovely.
Really lovely.
Steve. Tell me what you'd like to do.
Right. I think he spends a long time preparing. I think he's rips up the sheets as best he can, kind of sets up an easel if there is one available, or kind of makes do with.
You can make do.
Yeah. And studiously kind of cleans off the brushes, gets out all the paints, checks which ones are still, make sure that the consistency is right, they haven't hardened or anything, sets everything, possibly even kind of primers a few, and the thought occurs to him that he is spending too long prepping.
Procrastinating a little.
Yeah, and it's that kind of half of it is really scared because of that kind of rush of creativity that came last time and kind of seemed almost too much for him, and it's he's a bit half of him scared that's going to happen again, and the other half is really scared it's not going to happen again. And so he's just kind of then staring at kind of a
small canvas. Yeah.
I don't think it's the canvas yet. I think he's saving the canvas for when he's done sketches of things. And
okay. Staring at a primed sheet.
Yeah.
A blank primed sheet. The paints were quite old and quite dry. They did need a bit of like water mixing in and really giving them a good like 10 minutes worth of almost pestle and mortaring with the back end of the brush to try and make sure that there was even some oil left even, so there's quite a bit of work done there to make them work out.
One brush he didn't bother cleaning because she's like, right, okay, well that's
yeah, exactly, just wood now. Looking at this blank canvas, how's quiet around you? Nothing happens. I'm just looking at it.
Closes his eyes to get a better image of the painting.
Are you reminding yourself of the triptych specifically?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's just trying to kind of focus in on a few details. Okay, so what was, because it was a rain of blood, wasn't it?
A strangely two-dimensional representation of buildings in a three-dimensional landscape. Rain of blood, very much so. A strange surrealism to it that is very modern for this time period, for this part of the world. Fantasy world.
Yeah.
Like a style that you've never really seen before anywhere else or since.
Yeah. So I think in that case he probably thinks of that for a moment and then realizes that kind of getting a 3D image into a 2D representation like that is a bit beyond. He can't do that just from that flat image.
Yes.
And so he starts to think of his shop, and he will start to, in the same representation, start to kind of sketch out. Yeah, it's like just one color, just to. Closed? I think the first couple he'd probably lay in and just kind of get the and then it's not kind of concentrating. It's almost like unfocusing his eyes back a bit rather than closing them. It's just it's a few touches and lines that he can then.
As you start to do that, and as you start to paint and start to put the lines in and start to find some sense of this quite strange way of painting, which is alien to you. The moment that you put brush to canvas, the moment that you start, the impetus has to come from you. When you start, suddenly it is again that flowing out of you, that sense of I can do anything, that sense of I can achieve anything. And again, it is overwhelming and a little scary because it is that sense of every single muse is singing to me at high volume at the same time. It is a lot, and you can almost feel like a small headache coming on as you do this. Once you focus your eyes back a little, you have, in exactly the same art style as the triptych, drawn your own shop.
Awesome.
However, elements of it are different. The front door of your shop You look at it carefully, it could be a trick of the light because it doesn't really make any sense to you. But it says Whistle Pocket and a Shakti underneath.
Oh. Don't trust it, don't trust it, don't trust it.
Bits of the house that were damaged, because it's an old house, are mended. There's a swing in the back. There are elements here that don't make any sense to you at all. Although you do get a faint thought of, is this the future?
Oh.
It could just be that you've had some creative license here. It could just be that you've been not thinking and letting it flow. But there's a vague sense here that something about this is not current, not now, but like almost an image of the future.
Is it almost that? Because you know when you have deja vu, it's that kind of
precisely
disconnect between short term and long term memories. It's like that kind of feeling of right. Okay. Right. Next.
Oh.
New thing up. Concentrate different part of this triptych. Again, a moment back. Tries a different style of a different bit.
And again, you're recreating styles, and each time you are creating a new snapshot of a part of it to try and get a better sense of what you are recreating, using different thematics every time. Like the falling rain in this is very visceral and three-dimensional, but as you draw the falling rain this time round, it isn't blood, it's water. And you don't really know why. You don't really know what you've done to make that different, and you're sort of like confused because you definitely used red paint. So there's, you get some, again, these strange deja vu-esque snapshots of this doesn't quite work. Does it? Does it quite work? I'm not sure. All through as you keep going. And again, you are finding a creative drive and inspiration that has always eluded you but is now firing at full force. Can you roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Oh,
That bad? Holy crap.
Last time you didn't do that.
I didn't do that
It might
last
always
time.
be better
He
to...
disappears into the painting.
Oh, God.
Myrtle's window of the house looks suspiciously empty.
Oh, no.
Myrtle's window.
Don't do that.
17.
That's good.
As you get to the morning, you will have had a long rest because I'm not an arsehole. As you get to the morning, you realise you have a slight headache. And you haven't had a full-on nosebleed, but there is a bit of blood around the corner of your nose. Not quite sure where that came from. Could be red paint. Could be red paint.
A lot of them involving
Paint everywhere. Yeah. So
rain and,
it's probably just red paint.
Sounds totally fine.
Did you taste it?
Yes, it's lead. Make another con saving throw. You have lead poisoning.
I have advantage against poison.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lick your paint then, please.
Just remembering because I forgot last week.
Oh, yeah, that's very important.
That is fair. Good. It is the morning.
Right.
You all wake up, come to a short rest, but it counts as a long one. I'm not going to be a dick about it. And you are all rising and shining.
Would I have had time to use the canvas for a final kind of
Test run.
amalgam of all the different things I've been...
But recreating the triptych.
Or a piece, or a more solidified kind of, right, I've got the rain bits right now, I've got the kind of 2D bits right now, I'm going to...
Is all of this stuff up in our room?
Oh yeah, I think it's probably as I'm dabbing my nose that you're all
Getting
coming
up.
to.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I'm going to get up and say, there's going to be a screen.
Hang on.
What?
Sorry, a slight point of order. Would it say Whistle Pocket and T-Ram?
Yeah.
With and T-Ram painting? My bad.
What?
Just checking.
Oh my God!
Do I
Abernathy! Did you do this?
What? What's the matter?
Look at what he's done!
Yep, I was just
Oh
having
my
a bit
God!
of a practice, you see, I was
This is...
slightly terrifying, isn't
This
it?
might actually work. This... Oh my God. Okay.
He was good at art and
No,
stuff.
I agreed, I just didn't know how. Wow!
You are a lot better than you said you would.
Yes!
To be fair, I'm a lot better than I was.
Right!
I
But
think
don't
maybe buildings are your thing and not little faces at all.
blow your damn trumpet, for goodness sake. Look at this!
They are very pretty.
I think Cohen's like looking like Cohen's doing stretches and everything at the same time. Like, sort of that's happening over there.
Do you do stretches in the morning, do you?
What? This seems no. I was more just the like he's not like 100% transfixed by this. He's
I see. Okay.
Yeah, not like sports stretches or anything.
Leap out of bed.
Cohen gets up and starts doing jumping jacks because Cohen's that pure. Yeah.
I'm side-eyeing the
I do yoga every morning. Yeah.
Side-eyeing the stretches.
Yeah, I'm just like...
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I think that was two people who've never stretched in the morning getting quite angry about somebody who might.
Can I just ask, did I know Ashakti's surname?
Hired me, I hope so.
It was just I only ever spoke in-game Ashakti, so would you have told me your surname?
Yes, like my name, isn't it? It's important for
I think you would know
jobs and
Ashakti's surname,
things.
yes.
You do keep records of some stuff like that. Sure.
Yeah, but she was trying to get her own job without her family's name.
Oh.
No, they're not my family. We're not related. It's fine.
All right.
That's exactly what you said to him.
They're culturally related, not
We're
blood
not
related.
actually, it's not actually my uncle. We're none of us related. Well, my sister's related. It's fine. My family's fine and not pirates.
Yeah.
So
It's also not true, but okay. Right. You all wake and see the paintings in there.
Yeah. Okay, so if we can just get this brush, would the brush make you better at painting?
I don't know. It might make the paintings more magical.
I'll make them magic so that when you see them, you're like, oh, magic!
If it's if it's going to be better,
How
than
magic
that,
works,
then I think
yeah.
we might have a second Kindle on our hands. What was that? Fine.
Magic!
At the moment, it feels like that, actually.
Good. Okay. Well, does anyone want to go upstairs and try and find?
No.
Okay. Just wait here then.
Just sit down for a minute,
What
actually.
sort of time is it?
It's early morning.
Okay.
Like before people started getting up, or
Yeah.
okay, cool.
You would wake up far, far before Elethra. Elethra had a late night for Elethra.
Yeah, and I'd probably do the thing of like when you wake up and be spooning her and be like that half thing of not remembering anything and just being like, it was all a bad dream. And then kind of like waking up, realising she's there and then like put the hand back to try and find Kara
Oh.
and find an empty space and just be like,
Oh, boy.
and it comes crashing back.
Oh.
And that kind of like, yeah.
They probably hear the scream from.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
And then probably like just savouring like a minute of them being asleep. And just kind of looking and then just like kissing her awake.
Morning.
Morning.
God, it feels very early.
You're not a night owl.
No.
Shall I go and get breakfast? Or shall I just go and tell Smythe to go and get breakfast?
Just ring the bell.
Leans over, rings the bell.
I was thinking more of a chain.
Yes,
not a chain, like one of those.
I
Like,
understand, yeah. Ding ding.
That's a life.
about 5 minutes later. Yes, good morning, Mom.
And some things never change, do they? Right, so there's a lot of us here today.
Oh. Daddy shouldn't know. Right, let's be careful with this.
Fair point.
Smythe. Yes, Mom. Could you please make a marvellous, complicated, detailed breakfast and then leave it in the kitchen? In the kitchen? Yes, in the kitchen. Oh, certainly, Mom. Door closes, walks off.
Someone needs to get him like a.
You live with her father.
What?
She lives with her father.
Yes.
It's a mansion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just realised that. Well, so you live there, so you also live with her father.
Yes.
Sorry, I've just realised this fact.
Yes.
Yes.
You say it like it's something terrifying.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from someone who has lived with their in-laws. Yeah, it's great.
Fine.
I just
Well, let's. I guess let's get ready, head down to the kitchen, and then have our large breakfast in the kitchen
let's go
by
and have a
ourselves.
lovely breakfast.
I'm looking forward to it very much.
I honestly think so.
Yeah.
Press the digits.
And after roughly half an hour of sort of not quite sure what to do, the secret door opens, and on trays, they bring in. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
And it's a tray of just like a variety of
Eggs,
breakfast foods.
croissants.
Yes.
Whoa.
Now this.
I'm sorry.
This is a sight for sore eyes.
I'm sorry. It's not a full repast, but let's carry it on trays.
It's fine. No, it's fine. And I start
Are there beans
voraciously
left?
eating it.
And two.
Are there beans?
Of course.
Oh, there are beans.
Get stuck in.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all hungry. Lovely.
Yes.
I may have made a bit of a mess of one of your sheets, possibly two.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and she starts walking around with a cup of coffee, just wondering, oh, so I was looking at all of the art.
Lovely. I know that one.
All in one night.
Yes.
That's impressive.
That feels very good, isn't it?
You might get this done faster than we thought.
Yes.
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 You
Told you it was good.
Yes. No, I hope no one.
You seem kind of out of it. Did you not get much sleep?
That's what I forgot to do.
You using magic to do this?
Not that I know of. I mean,
Which you're a magic user. Are you some sort of sorcerer? You cast spells?
It makes like colours happen and then you feel
Yes.
better.
Yes.
I've never heard of it applying directly to canvas.
I've not been doing it long myself, and this is the first time I've tried to paint with it. So,
But did it feel magical? Did it feel the same as when you do the wonderful healing?
Small.
Did you cast that healing word but on the bed sheets? And then they got sealed
That
into
sounds
art.
disgusting.
I don't think that's how anything works.
Shut down.
Give it a try, but I would incinerate the bed sheets. So I won't. I think my magic can do art.
Well, your gifts are clearly
Growing.
they're really very good.
Good role.
Alethra's going to. Alethra's going to just walk around your various pages, sort of doing that kind of that sort of gentle perusing with a small cup of coffee. This mug is too big, but you get the idea.
It's also R2D2. It doesn't fit.
Alethra is definitely a nerd.
Oh yeah.
Defo.
Okay.
So in
Baldur's Gate version of
Yeah, of R2D2.
Oh, there's a whole story right now.
Trouble
Somebody
sidekick.
should write it.
It's all bone china, obviously. And
Yes.
just gazing at the artwork as you all eat and make plans, presumably.
Genuinely don't remember doing that one.
That must be magical. I have the same thing sometimes when I think I can't possibly hit that note or something like that, and then it happens. It's the most wonderful feeling.
Yes. Part of your life now. And
Yes,
Oh, good.
you should enjoy it.
I should.
Well, it's a wonderful gift.
one of the nice things about magic I've always found is that part of it is less to do with I'm going to cast that spell and do that thing.
Yeah.
And more that general feeling that your life is somehow magically charged now because you spend so much time around magic. And like I find now that I approach books in completely different ways.
Ah, yes.
It's wonderful. Really.
What do you mean?
Well, like I'll read something and then I'll come back to it later and I'll have a sort of connection point with something else with it and just, magic comes in many ways. Well, like yours is all within your head with thoughts and dreams and sleep and that sort of thing.
True.
We all have our focuses.
That's true.
Foci?
Mine's
Anyway.
Mine's the epiglottis.
Right.
I can set fire to things if you want. But I won't.
Thank you. So, are you all ready? I will go and do some research about finding some frames. And you said it was about, what, 5 foot tall sort of thing? Quite large, weren't
We
they?
need 3 of them, and
All right.
they're all the same size. They need to be the same canvas, the same
5 by
size.
2.
Oh, they're bigger than that.
They're bigger.
I will
bigger.
go and... well, Smythe is a good resource when it comes to where to procure things, and I'll have a chat with him and see what I can muster up. I presume you'll be coming back here after your daring
Maybe
raid.
get some extra canvas just in case.
Sure, no
Some
problem.
more paints.
I can do all of that. That's fine. I will find a rival shop to purchase things. And I presume you'll be coming back here after your daring escapade?
Yes. I think
Potentially,
that would be
unless we
wonderful.
get caught or, otherwise.
Well,
But if we could come back here, that would be wonderful.
so long as there's no question of impropriety, you understand, Viorica? I don't want to have my family impugned or any kind of... Okay.
Absolutely not.
Well then, if maybe you need to wait somewhere till the coast is clear and then steal your way back in, stealing lasts for 8 hours, so you have plenty of time.
Yes.
As long as the things you seem to be don't also become wanted felons.
Well,
Oh dear, that's not funny.
No, it's probably a very, very high chance.
I will what I will say is that seeming lasts for 8 hours. It is quite a long spell. So what I will do is I will cast it, so it is done, and then you should probably get on your way. It can't. Magic can dispel it. If there are dispelling magics in the High House of Wonders, it wouldn't surprise me, frankly. But also, I won't have any way of turning it off if you need to not look like the people that you seem to be. It just runs for 8 hours. Right. Unless you come and tell me that you don't want it anymore.
Is that... I mean, because, for instance, you've looked like other people.
Oh, it's a different kind of magic from... I assume you're disguising yourself.
That would be the one.
Yes, it's a different one from that.
Would you be able
You could do that over the top.
Would you be able to... Yes, would it be like a palimpsest?
Oh, I don't see why not. Should probably work, I don't know.
I love you.
Yeah.
That's a great word. I could probably do that.
Well, then there we go. So there are ways of disguise happening as well for you. But otherwise, if you need it to no longer to look like
You
Jaden...
don't have a scroll of sending or anything that I could use?
I don't tend to use scrolls.
Yes.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, nothing.
Oh, scrolls are when you want to, I suppose I better get used to it. Research scrolls. Anyway, would you like me to cast it now? Are you ready to go?
Well,
Are we doing... take that paintbrush with you. I'll need it if I'm going to do the fake magic to it.
I'm going to bring a few of them because, we'll find the right one that matches.
Sure, certainly.
good idea.
Are we taking this bloody box or not?
We don't have a box. No, if we are
I can find a box if you need a box.
The idea was to put a letter in there, provided we don't put in a letter that actually says Yabu's Hux. That should be fine.
I mean, if we want to really have some fun, the letter could just tell them to be in the void at the time that we want them to be there.
You don't know when the paintings will be done.
It's going to be done yet, though, do we?
Oh, I just thought you'd do it quickly after.
Just be like the wide. Oh no, then they'll see us putting
Yes,
it in there.
they'll wait out there.
How do you do,
scrap that.
in a letter?
Right.
We could tell them the paintings are somewhere else and where they're going to be. That'd be fun, like the Caldwells.
I think for the longer they think that nothing untoward has happened, the better.
We're not gonna
If I can offer.
We're gonna make him not know that we nicked it. It's
Yes.
gonna be well.
Yes,
That's the
probably a
best
good
plan.
idea.
Yeah.
Well, then if you're all ready.
And now, hang on, let's just be very, very sure about this. Which way around were we going to do it?
Shaden.
You're going to be Shaden,
Right.
and I'm going to be Tharavel.
Yes. Right.
Because I think Shaden is more your pace.
True.
Also, you know them better than I do.
Yes, we'll see about that.
And are we just going to be like
I want to be
generic people?
No, I don't want to be generic. I want to be really cool. And
I want to be quite generic, please.
We're going to be generic. You're cool on your own. You don't need to be cool with magic.
I will use members of the Flaming Fist I've seen before and just put you in basic House Ravenshade flunky uniforms.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that sounds good.
Let's hope we don't. Well, let's hope we don't bump into the Flaming Fist anyway. But I suppose
They don't spend much time in the outer city.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good point.
Right.
1 second. And I go and kiss her a lot. And then just go like...
There are people here.
The point is that if I'm going to kiss you and say goodbye, I'm not going to do it where I look like a boring flaming fist.
Oh, good.
Yes, because I might die.
I'm going to have to get used to this. Anyway, I don't want to make any presumptions. Do you want to maintain gender?
Yes. For me, personally.
I could have a moustache.
I think I might draw attention if you are.
Entirely female.
If you're going for a look of somebody else and trying to copycat them, having a piece of facial hair that they've never had before might be a shock.
Oh, yes.
Whatever you think's fine. Just a cool foot person, but like rich looking, like a rich foot person. Well, foot people are rich, but like not rich like patriarch rich. Just a foot person.
Do you mean
rich.
comparatively?
What?
Yes.
To you, a foot person is rich. Is that what you mean? Because a patriarch in footman's clothing would be peculiar.
No, yeah, I just mean a foot person.
Yes, I can achieve that. Yes.
What are your favourite colour eyes?
Purple.
That's no.
Again, I don't think you're quite getting the point of not drawing attention to yourself, but
Make the three of us look like the three boring musketeers.
is that a reference? I don't understand it. That's
That's paint. What's going on?
She takes the scroll, looks at it, concentrates, starts casting from the scroll, and all of you are willing, so no charisma saves, and you all end up looking like, in your case, Shaden. You don't sound like Shaden from the spell. You'd have to do that yourself.
No, you're the actor feat, don't you?
I do.
You have the actor feat, so you can do that.
Perfect. Right, in which case I do the thing perfectly, but it feels icky. Don't like it.
You look perfectly like Tharavel, which may also be disconcerting to you.
Hello.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, perfect.
Said as Cohen, is ideal.
On the weird off chance that we actually bump into your siblings, is there any way you could perhaps, like, I don't know, dip a finger in the paint? I want to know which ones you are.
Okay.
I have now already cast the spell, and the paint would be on their fingers, which
wouldn't show.
No.
Right.
I imagine that the real
You could probably
Tharavel
just-
doesn't sound like this.
So as long as you're talking, we're okay.
Exactly.
Right. Don't get knocked out.
Or, you know, I can do, and then, like, I just do some, like, rainbow-like stuff off a card.
It's going to get very comedy of errors, isn't it?
Yeah.
It might well.
Can someone tell me what I look like? Do I look cool?
The three of you look...
Like Steve Jobs.
You still touch yourself, it's still you because it's an illusion. You are all wearing basic footman attire. All three outfits are exactly the same. You look very nice. You look presentable, but you also do look quite generic.
What do I look like?
Mirror
don't know
image
how to
exactly
describe
what a
it.
Shakti's disguise looks like.
That's right. Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Gosh, that is
Are you going to do that whole cool thing the entire way?
What would a foot person do?
They'd probably just stay quiet and do their job.
Oh, thank God.
Might be a talkative foot person, you don't know.
They don't stay hired very long. I can tell you from experience.
Fine, I'll be quiet then.
You do, just until after we've done this.
I have about 7 hours and 55 minutes.
Let's go, already.
Best of luck.
I go...
Thank you so much for everything.
No, you're welcome.
I go back up to Lethra sort of as everyone's walking off and just go, she's not going to die. It'll be fine.
Dude, what?
Jaya! If I die,
There's going to be a problem.
you have to bring me back now.
Why? Why?
All of that money.
You heard it. It's all Jaya's fault.
That was...
Holy shit. I mean, way to go. Hey, this cat's falling off this roof. Oh, well.
That's going to be fine. It is going to be fine.
Good.
Great.
He's very confident that it'll be fine.
That's what's got me worried.
Yeah.
The five of you leave the house next to House Tillerton, dressed as Shaden, Tharavel, and 3 Ravenshade foot people. What would you like to do?
Try and get us...
Rat on a stick, anyone? No? Alright, let's do this.
You can't get rat on the stick in the upper city.
No, exactly. So I'm imagining there would be a bit of trying to organise like the order, if you see what I mean. Because I'm imagining it would be Tharaval first, followed by Shaden, and then you guys are going to be like
1, 2, 3.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
I would imagine in that thing of like a patriarch wandering along, trying to
Big pompous and
big up
old
themselves and going, showing that they've got some power by having a retinue.
As you walk out of the house and are standing in the upper city streets, people are walking past you. Do the occasional, like, polite nod to both of you. The 3 of you are ignored.
Saying is there's a studied return. Using the actor feat. overplaying it a bit at the moment because he's trying to find out what to do, but I think he gets it. I hope he gets it quite well.
Can you roll me we'll start here, roll me a deception check with advantage because your performance, what does actor leave you? Talk me through what actor does.
Yeah, exactly.
It's under your feet. That's skill set.
I know. Give me a minute there.
Feet then?
He's the feet man.
What have you got?
First person.
Yeah, okay, so
Don't even get a moustache.
+1 advantage on, yes. Mimic the speech from all the sounds made by the creature you've heard. Yeah, so I just get advantage on deception and performance checks.
Okay, you can have deception or performance for this, it's fine.
Right. That's not good.
You get advantage because we're in scene.
No, gets advantage because of the active feat, that's all.
Yeah. Like I said, overplaying it a bit to start with.
That's fine.
Okay, well, it's 15?
Why are you saying 15? Like 15 is bad.
It's good.
It's gonna be like 9.
Because he rolled a 6.
I did it, to be fair, I rolled a 6. What did you say?
Jaya, I just rolled a nat 20, so shut your face.
Oh, I'm gonna die, and it's gonna be so much.
No, Lilith's going to die.
Oh,
It's going to be your fault.
yeah, man.
I'm gonna be fine, and it's gonna be great.
You're not going to get saved.
That did just happen.
I just angry rolled a 1. Good, so...
Everything's going well.
Fine.
As you're walking down the street, you sort of do and as you are slowly starting to make your way towards the High House of Wonder, just walking down the street, you do start sort of bowing and scraping a little, and people give you a slightly strange look, and you realise you're...
Overplayed.
Shaden doesn't tend to, like... engage that much. Shaden's not a personable person. So you're like being more animate and more friendly than Shaden would ever be. So you are overplaying it a little, but you are still sounding like Shaden. Pulling it off because 15.
Yes.
Would anyone also like to roll deception or performance checks? The three of you still get advantage because of the spell.
Four.
I think, if anything, Cohen might be like underplaying it.
Performance or deception?
Not
the three
knowing
of
this
you.
person, it'll be mostly like just nods and stuff.
Oh dear, Shams.
11.
11.
If only you had some way, or in fact 2 ways, of being able to re-roll dice.
This is why I sit next to Steve.
Because Steve knows the rules?
My feats.
I don't know my own. I've just dropped my
Do we
dice.
have advantage anyway?
You do because of the spell, yes.
That's not pickable. I'll just roll it. That's alright.
I'm going to lucky myself luckier.
Okay.
That's got to be possibly. Yeah, okay.
That's a lot better than that.
That's 10.
10, okay.
15.
15?
Do we have advantage?
You do because of seeming, yes.
And it,
27.
Fucking hell.
I told you.
No, yeah. You're going to be fine.
Wow, that looks really weird on the stream.
it's performance.
Darren
isn't
and I
it?
will not cross our streams again.
It's performance, isn't it?
Yeah.
26.
Always one
Forever.
Always 100.
Abernathy very quickly falls into the performance of a footman and does so well. The two of you are more like, this is weird, not quite sure, yeah.
Exactly.
What? Oh no.
Just pretend that just pretend like everyone else doesn't want you to be here as much as you don't want to be here, and it's fine.
Just assume that that's the case. Okay.
But in the meantime, you have aped Tharavel perfectly down to the walk.
So much is actually pissing me off a little.
I really wish we'd put his finger in some paint first.
I mean, you could have told... Never mind. Right, so you are heading towards the High House of Wonders. Ahead of you, as you walk through the temples... Temples? There are various...
You have the...
It's in your disguise,
Gotcha.
part of your disguise. You are walking through the temples, the temple district of the Upper City. The temples... area, district, houses a wide variety of temples to various gods. You pass all sorts of small shrines, and this whole area has a very spiritual, religious aspect to it. And as you are walking through and see these various things, you do realize that one structure absolutely friggin' dominates this area. A gigantic marbled temple. It doesn't have that kind of large dome temple structure. If anything, it looks slightly more just like a massive, well-designed manor house, but everything's marbled. Like, it's got that very strange sense of a place where stuff happens, but also it's huge, like more like a museum than a temple. It's probably an easy way to think of it in modern terminology. As you step up to the front, there is quite a lot of traffic in and out of the temple. It is quite a large building with lots of people moving around it. You recognise a lot of priests of gone. You're getting a lot more sort of bows and scrapes, and you do know that Shaden is in a position of some authority within the temple. So. And
okay. I would be keen to make a religion check to try and make sure I give the right amount of.
Sure, roll me a religion check. That's fine.
Ooh, Lord, this is 13.
Cool. Shaden is not like a priest of God,
right,
in the way that Shaden is a follower of God and has a lot of interests and money, which is quite important in the priesthood of God. It's all about building stuff that costs money.
Yes.
So you are not going to be like asked for things to do within the temple in that way, but you are certainly being given a certain amount of deference and respect.
Yes.
But you don't remember a lot about how Gon's worship actually goes, because why would you?
No, this is not my thing.
No, not at all. As the five of you step up to there's these wide open steps that go up with two ramps on either side, and as you walk up, the temple is, as you note, festooned with series of small clockwork automata and things around various doors, like gargoyles over the side, and there is a very large clock. The idea of a clock time and that sort of thing in this day and age is still relatively new, so it doesn't keep time in the way you would necessarily expect. It's got more of a sort of general sense of like seasons, and it's more seasons, months, a general sense of time, but not broken down in the way you'd expect. It is quite a strange yet huge contraption. Every now and again there's a faint dong and something pops out of it somewhere and does a little thing and pops back into it again.
What about the pocket watches?
Pocket watches work in a similar fashion. It's still very new, the idea of keeping time and how one would keep time. The idea of standardized time is relatively still being worked out.
When the idea of trying to trap time with a mechanical thing came in, everyone was kind of like, that's witchcraft, don't do it. It was kind of seen as a thing of don't try and actually tell what time is.
Gnomes are often part of the worship of God for pretty obvious reasons. So yes.
The gnomes.
The gnomes.
Everybody loves the gnome.
As you step inside, there is, and you've seen this before, you may have seen this before, the three of you will probably not have seen this before. The High Hall of Wonders? God damn it, there's two temples of God. The High House of Wonders. The High House of Wonders has a, as you step inside, hanging from the ceiling is a dragon.
Yes.
Which slowly moves, and the head moves and goes. It's a clockwork dragon that just floats above the entire central hall of the High House of Wonders and is the attempt to show the fuck off. And it works. It is supremely impressive. For a second, is that a dragon? No, you can see the rivets, you can see that it's held together, but it is a remarkable piece of technology. And there are a lot of people walking going, oh, as they walk in and look at it. So it wouldn't be in this future the same.
It's the Natural History Museum, essentially.
Yeah, with the blue way.
Except evil. No, it's not evil. Very neutral. Very neutral.
Yeah.
As you move inside, people are sort of nodding and looking, and there are various sort of like information desks or like sort of places where there's queues around the edges of this, but you've never been here before, so you don't know what any of them do.
Well, that's the thing. So I want to, I guess, do a history and or religion check to see. Well, because I wouldn't have been here at all, would I necessarily? I might have been here before as like a performer or something. So if I do
tell you what, roll me a history check to see how much you remember of being here if you have been here.
Yeah, it just I'd like to go to the one that presumably would be the right one to go to.
Well, you wouldn't know which one to go to, that's the thing.
History?
Yes, please.
10.
Looking around, you go, you have no idea where to go here. This looks like a well-oiled machine and you don't know where to begin.
Let's jump in.
Hello, sorry, what?
Can anyone see what the next step should be? I can't remember whether I've been here before. It just looks rather intimidating.
Is this all messages or are you speaking?
Okay. Messages.
Can you just read the surface thought to the people at the desk? Everyone's looking at us.
People aren't looking directly at you, like staring. People sort of occasionally walk past.
I think
There's now starting to
a waste
be
of a spell.
There's now starting to be a sort of look occasionally of why are they all just standing
I think maybe one of you should go up to the desk and particularly say that you would like to go to see, your vault.
But we don't know if there's a password and we don't know if that's how they're supposed
Well,
to speak.
I can't just read their minds because their minds are going to be in the paperwork that they're currently doing. So I need you to start that thought, and then I can read them.
All right.
Lord Ravenshade?
Oh God.
And I turn around. Sorry, is it directed to me?
Yes, Tharavel is not Lord Ravenshade.
Well, hello.
Standing in front of you is a half-elf. You do not recognise them.
Right. And hello. What can I
I'll
do
do
for
it
you?
now.
You do it now?
Fine. Yes.
You have to, if you're
I
casting...
know. I've got to do a sleight of hand.
Yeah, it'll be under passive.
Would anyone like to give me advantage?
How?
Desperately trying to think of how.
Don't know. Would you like to give me a guidance?
I mean, I would have to also then.
When you are being quite as heavily observed as this, yes.
Distraction.
I will do that.
Someone fart.
You will be quiet.
Please?
It's a distraction, but yeah, I just start speaking to them as well.
Go on.
Yeah.
13.
Flat.
Yep. Nothing to add.
God.
Okay.
Hello, good to see you.
I'm not
again.
rolling it as passives. Yes.
I still get to read their thoughts.
I just
what
suddenly
do they
realised
say?
I may never have seen them.
There's a slight... yes. This figure is... they are confused. If you're just doing surface thoughts and not prying deeper.
Yeah, no.
They are just confused, and the thing that crosses your mind is, here so early?
Apparently we're here early.
I'm sorry to intrude upon your time at this early stage, but we would like to go and have a look at the vaults.
What is their reaction to that?
Reaction is, oh, don't mention those out here.
Don't mention those out here, Viorica.
Understood.
I sort of place a hand on his shoulder and then sort of give him a pointed look, but like in that like
In a
sharing it
performative
with
way.
you way.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, is there a problem?
I wouldn't have said it out loud unless it was quite vital.
Oh, I understand, of course, and my sincerest apologies.
What's their name?
Their name is...
Good call.
Would they be thinking that? Sorry.
Their name is Shireen.
Their name is Shireen.
Ed Shireen.
No, not Ed Sheeran. Not Ed
Their
Sheeran.
name is Shireen. I don't know whether Lord Thingy knows this, but now you do.
Shireen, please, if we could move as fast as possible. Thank you.
Yes, of course, please. With your Sorry, of course, yes, please. Sorry. And you are guided. As you're walking out of this room and towards a back room, you two will have left. I think you two will probably left as well. Who's got the highest passive perception?
I do 15.
Brilliant.
9.
As the two of you are guided into a back room, and as the two of you follow out of that back room, as you're leaving this central space being taken into presumably the vaults, you look back over the room, and stepping into the hall are Tharavel and Shaden and a couple of foot people.
Just so we're
And
all aware.
that's where we're going to take our break.
I can't believe you've done this. I can't believe you've done this.
Oh, we all thought they were.
Join us again in about 5-10 minutes. See you in a sec.
Can't believe you've
It's
done this.
almost too easy. But it's, yeah.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Baldur's Gate Framed. Dear Edward.
Sorry.
So, you were heading into the vaults underneath the High House of Wonders, disguised as your siblings, Tharaval, Shaden, and 3 foot people. And you just noticed as you were leaving the central hall of the High House of Wonders that Tharaval and Shaden, the real ones, have just entered the High Hall of Wonders.
Let's keep moving.
As you all walk into this corridor that's taking you out of this hall, Shireen in front of you, leading you all.
Are you doing that in Okay.
You are being led down a corridor, and it is notable in the High House of Wonders that while the outside and the facade and the public-facing spaces are all very, very beautiful, this is suddenly a lot more functional.
Secure, okay.
Yes, and as this corridor, there's still marbled effect all over, and it looks like it might be marbled effect, not actual marble as you get a bit closer to it. There are stairs going down and down and down and down. You are slowly being taken into the bowels of this building. Anyone saying or doing anything in particular as you are walking?
But the doppelgangers, like, in the room, standing still? Are they leaving?
They were in the hall. You have left the hall and gone into the corridor. You don't know.
So they're behind us? Yeah. I've got you. Sorry.
They came in the front door.
It's basically perfect, as long as we keep moving.
Yeah.
That's the...
It's not perfect.
And is it just
Far from
Shireen?
perfect.
Okay.
Just Shireen with you, yes.
Perfect as in...
We have to get out of here again.
We can do that once we've got the brush.
One step at a time.
We're having this conversation.
Well, we are.
Well, you can be having it with messages.
That's subtle. We're like messages.
I'm the only one that is absolutely calm about sending these messages.
This is the only person who can. Anyway.
Anyone engaging with Shireen as you walk down, frantically messaging each other, going, shit, what do we do?
Are they going slowly?
They are walking with some pace. You made clear that it was urgent and an issue, so they are walking quite a pace. If you are all walking and no one's talking out loud, they will look back and... Is everything all right?
We had something of a situation, that's all.
I understand.
But it's very difficult to know what we can say and to whom, so...
discretion is, of course, very...
Understood, thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm glad we're all understood.
They guide you further and further down, and you do pass various other corridors, and you can see the lower down it goes, the more you're passing workshops, laboratories, and also the further down you go, the less like, a cute tinkered clock becomes more like, is that an Iron Maiden that has like gears on it? Like it gets a bit more like they clearly are experimenting with various different kinds of technology here and are trying to find a way to make things work. You get to the bottom of this stairwell that you are going down. As you get to the bottom of it, there is a large, quite impressive door at the base of these stairs. Do you have your key?
Absolutely. And I'm going to go forward to the door and take what has been created.
It is an illusion.
No, understood. But I'm going to try.
You cannot move it.
Fine. Sorry. I presume I would have known that already.
Yes.
In as much as... Also, though, we didn't... Like, as I'm walking over, I'm going to message Liz and go, did we have a plan for this bit?
Not particularly.
Right. When I get to the door, there's going to be a problem.
Yes, I can see that.
There's going to be step, and I'm getting closer to the door. I can't really do anything about it. I know, but I'm thinking that at least...
We're sharing this moment of panic together!
Is there at all plausible that I could...
I'm still going towards the door.
That I could step forward.
I'm just going
as
to
if
keep reading
help
Shireen's mind.
And pick the lock very quickly and subtly.
Pick the lock very quickly and
In
subtly.
front of the bank manager.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm asking if I should even try it.
Shireen is currently standing at the front of all of you. Shaden has moved past to move towards the door. You don't know. You could step up, or you could. They're just waiting for Shaden to open the door.
Are they thinking of an actual key or a password or
open?
They are thinking of a from an overall thing, they're thinking, well, I'm waiting for Shaden to open the door, but they don't sort of think I'm waiting for Shaden to open the door. They're just
with the key,
waiting politely. You could push deeper if you wanted to.
Should I probe?
I can try and distract him with a conversation. Sorry, them. I can try and distract them with a conversation so they're not looking at the door.
What do I go?
And then I will. Yeah.
Is there are there other rooms off the corridor that we're on?
No. As you walk down the stairs, there's almost like you get to the base of the stairs and there is a huge locked door at the base of the stairs, and it's the size of a normal door, but it looks rather imposing. It is made of metal. There are various gears built into it. It looks very like, to even get onto this floor, there is a specific door that must be opened that is key locked.
Yeah. I'd like to minor illusion from the back up the way we've come. The sound of someone saying, Shreen.
Cool. Can you roll me a sleight of hand check to do so subtly?
Okay. Okay.
Suspense.
Suspense. Oh my god, man! Come on.
I'd like to know what I'm adding.
No. Understood. It's just very.
19.
From above, Shireen. You don't need me, do you?
No, we'll be fine.
All right then.
I'm good. Do you know there's a sort of dance that you do when you're trying to look for something? And
That's visibly on your belt.
Okay, understood. But it's. Oh yeah, shit, it is. Isn't it?
She'd forgotten where it is. It's just like,
Shireen looks at you if you're fine. Excuse me, and turns around and starts going back up the stairs.
Okay.
You do know that they're going to go back and find the other two.
Let's get in here now.
They chose a fine time to say that.
I'm looking. What kind of a keyhole is it? What kind of a lock is it? Does it look like something mechanical?
It looks mechanical. What it looks like is there is an indentation in the centre, which is very clearly where the illusory object on Shaden's belt would go. Right. It seems to be various gears connected to various parts of this door. Lockpicking it would be incredibly difficult.
Last time I got my hairpin stuck in the lock.
Good luck.
It's gonna be...
I like, and guidance.
Well, we can assist you.
And it kind of makes the, highlights the bits of light glinting off just become a little clearer, I think.
This is gonna be this is like, no, I don't... okay.
Well, we're here now.
Okay. Oh boy, okay. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Try.
Don't forget, you have Tides of Chaos. You are lucky.
We are giving you advantage.
You can be given advantage and guidance as well.
Yes.
Yeah, there's lots of things.
What am I getting advantage from?
You can be assisted by someone.
Cool.
It is basically a series of interconnecting gears that seem to sort of hold this door shut. So if you can direct someone to maybe hold something in place or move something while you try and move something, there are many ways to metaphor. I couldn't think of one, so I just said
metaphor.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter. I'll ask later. Okay. This is more important.
Okay, I'm going to feel around with my hairpin. I don't know how locks work. I'm going to get my other hairpin.
You could also be giving bardic inspiration. Just a thought.
Oh yeah, we have.
I thought you just deliberately weren't. I was like, I thought I might get inspiration.
I normally
It's
use
cool.
blindfold.
Whatever.
I'll do it then. Okay, I will start crooning at you quietly. You can. No, you can.
So you have guidance, inspiration, advantage, and you can re-roll. I think you'll be fine.
Go on, hold that.
It is a very high DC, but
Put that. Okay, just wait. Don't move.
All right.
Okay, hold that there. Okay, thanks. Don't move.
I'm not moving.
Good. That's a...
Don't forget you have guidance as well,
Yes,
and
there's lots
inspiration.
of stuff to add to this, but what's the basic number?
No. Add it all up. Roll all the
Alright.
pieces and then add it all up.
Alright.
Because the DC is insane, but I'm excited.
Pieces. So many
Pieces.
I'm gonna...
Is that...
Tell me.
I'm gonna
You can tell me.
use Tides of Chaos to reroll one just in case. I've got pretty good
Fine.
on the higher number. but
Give
I'm
me
gonna
the Tides of
go.
Chaos, Dove.
Just in case I can beat that.
Okay.
Oh, I have a dove.
Have
Have a dove. So that
In rules terms, I can now do fun things to Shamini.
my high number on the die was a 15. And the Tides of Chaos reroll was a natural 20. Which
What is the total?
gives a grand total of
Does it break 30?
Go on. No.
28.
28. You start working on the door. Cohen holding a what is that? Hairpin?
hairpin.
Holding a hairpin in place, and you start realizing how all of these pieces fit. You start realizing how this door could open, and you feel inspired. You feel like guided. You feel like everything here could be going as well as possible. And then, for a moment, you tap into part of your magic that you don't like to tap into, a sense of wild freedom and abandon. And it just
Sparks getting in there.
sparks getting in there as you're going, and you do manage to open the door. However, as it moves out and opens, inside there is a low sort of
Alarm's gone off. Go.
and inside various metal sort of almost portcullises are in front of various doors. What would you all like to
Run
do?
in.
Run in. Just
Run
go
into
as
this
fast as
door.
we can.
So is this door is opened?
This door is opened, and there is now a long corridor in front of you with portcullises
I
dropping.
can lock it. I can lock it really well behind us.
We go in. Yeah, we'll go in to pop through this door. Mm-hmm. The problem is the next.
Can you lock?
step.
Can you like close it for me? And then I'll cast arcane lock. Is it? Yeah, arcane lock, which basically means that I touch a door, window, or gate, and it becomes locked for the duration until I dispel it.
Okay.
And I designate people that can open it normally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone runs in, you turn around, close the door, which takes a second because it's not an obvious door to
I got
close.
that.
But as you do, you magically infuse the door, and
Yeah,
it is now...
I have to use a password, so I'm like Alethra.
Fine.
This is the actual heist part of this, and we're messing it
Yeah,
up
this is
worse
Everyone,
than last time.
the password to
Why
this
is
door
that
is
a
now
surprise?
Alethra. I have bought us possibly more time.
You've locked
Okay.
us in
Where do we go? Where do we go?
Can everyone please roll me initiative?
Oh!
Yeah, there's going to be like
Thank
some sort of
you,
turret or
Yeah,
Why am I going?
yeah, probably.
Thank you.
that's probably not the
guidance
best
and
time for
inspiration,
that.
friends.
That's all good. I did
Your
nothing.
inspiration.
Oh no, I did do that.
You did give me inspiration. That was great. I know I missed. Oh, I did well.
Right, can everyone... anyone above a 20?
21.
21. Anyone above a 15?
I'm sorry, I got a nat 20 for a 22.
Oh, splendid.
I got an 18 for a 23.
That's astonishing.
You, every time.
Every time.
You two?
16.
16.
15.
15. Oh, they're all very high.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you have a
okay,
bit of this
so
now.
tightly wound. Just like,
That's cool.
I am using the new encounter builder on D&D Beyond, which allows me to have an initiative tracker.
That's awesome.
Very useful. Tracks initiative and hit points. It's fantastic. And for this complex battle, I'm going to need it. So,
hang on, what now?
We're just running in a room. It's fine.
Cohen, because you go first. As you all run into this corridor, it is roughly
Oh God, the automata.
it is roughly 10 foot wide and about 50 foot long.
20 foot wide, 50 foot long.
Yes.
Cool.
These portcullises are closing quite quickly, and on an initiative round, they will all be closed. However, at this point, some of them are still open. At the same time, from the back, there is a symbol of Gond, who is a male figure robed at the back, sort of casting eyes over all of this. And as you step in and this alarm goes off and all these portcullises start to close, the statue at the far end of the corridor raises a hand like that, and from the wall behind it, various small sharp daggers and swords are flying off the wall and flying straight down the corridor towards all of you.
Yes.
It's not a robot dragon.
Okay.
What do you mean at least? That's probably coming next.
Well, now we've given them the idea.
Anyway,
I've already pre-made this encounter.
what are you going to do?
It does contain robot dragons.
Give me a moment. It sounds like there might be more things coming.
No.
No, that's everything. So, and the portcullises are side rooms.
They're side rooms. There are effectively, I'm going to say, one every 10 feet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. 2 have already closed. 3 and 4 are closing, and they will all be closed by an initiative count.
Okay, do I have enough time, like, to even, like, do they just to see what's behind any of them as I...
The portcullises, as they close, they are not like, steel shutters. They are bars. They are what look like steel bars, but you're not sure. As you glance left and right, you can see 2 of these what look like private vaults, and there are things inside these. The two that you can see at the moment are collections of gold, coin, gems, some pieces of artwork, that sort of thing, but there's no identifying things you can definitively go, that's...
Okay, name over the top.
No.
That would have been great.
Is there any ones we can see, 1 and 2? As it were?
Yes,
Right.
effectively you're all at that point now.
I'm going to run
Yes?
towards the source of all the danger.
It would work.
What?
Yeah.
Locate object would work.
Hang on, sorry.
So I'm going to run towards the source of this, towards the statue, but I want to try and keep an eye out for like anything in any of the side rooms that I will have time to get into.
Yes.
That could be like an off switch or or equally just something useful.
As you run down this corridor with the vaults either side of you, can you roll me a perception check, please?
Yeah. Oh, nat 20.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. As you run down the corridor, looking left and right into these various rooms, with a nat 20, you can see as you are running past, there is one vault that is not so much full of money, but is full of art objects. And you recognize some of them because you went around describing them to people for a very long time.
Yes.
The painting with the bindle is not there because you made it up. No, you didn't. There is a painting with a bindle. There's a painting of a person with a bindle. Oh, shit!
Right, yeah, just sort of almost lock eyes with it and just dive into that room.
Ever. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, that's amazing.
Yes, I am probably going to get portcullised into a room full of art.
No, that's not the problem.
You dive into that room and you sort of do a combat roll, skid into it as you get there, and you are now in the Ravenshade Vault.
Shit.
You had to dash to get there because it was one of the last ones because, you know, I'm a damn. And that's your action. No, that's your action and your movement. You still have a bonus action.
I think I'm good. I don't think I've got any that are particularly useful.
Do you shout out
Yes.
anything? Say it's a free
Yeah,
action.
you don't. Yeah. It feels like you didn't. Is this? It feels slightly like.
No, I'm very happy to. You have retconned that you shout out.
Well, I probably saw it and dodge rolled into it. I mean, I don't know. This is 6 seconds. Like
Bindle!
If you shout bindle.
Please shout Bindle. That's hilarious.
Bindle.
That's really cool because that would let all of us know where you
We
were.
weren't there. I never
is
went on that art
the
tour.
end
I
of
have no
your
idea what a
Oh,
bindle
yeah,
is.
it's that burning thing.
But he seems confident about things. So.
My clothes.
These daggers and swords have started flying off the wall and flying down the corridor, and Kona's run down, done a very cool Mission Impossible style slide under them and then into one of the side doors to what is clearly the vault that you're looking for, but the shutters, the bars are tong, 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 going down at quite some speed. What would you like to do?
I don't know. Is there are there any objects that look handy that would just kind of be able to be placed underneath the shutters coming down? Just line up against
Piece of granite or something.
I will say this corridor is uniform and is clearly designed for, in case of this circumstance, the knives and swords coming straight forward would be a death trap. That's
and
kind
they
of the
are
point.
all.
They're all off this one central corridor. There's only one corridor.
Sorry, did the knives and swords
They're
fill
flying.
the width of?
Yes, they do.
Right.
Are we all just going in?
I don't know if it's going to.
Are they all on the same level or are they spread?
They are coming off the wall and just flying down. They're all they have initiative. They are not like random objects. They actually have initiative and can move. So they are effectively moving, but it's not their turn yet. If you see
I
what I
don't
mean.
have any kind of weapon. Wow. This is going to be fun.
At least they can't betray you.
I would prefer a knife to betray me than kill me. Let's see. Sorry, Steve.
But it's too far away for me to get there without dashing. But you're already in there, so I probably don't need to do that.
Yep. Wise thinking.
Yeah. Dang it.
I'm going to press you for time. It is an urgent situation.
Oh bugger! Hand out to Lilith and Mage Armor. So I think. Oh, you know the. So I think they actually did a movie about it where it was all animated. You know, of the Vincent van Gogh that almost slightly swirled.
Oh yeah, when they did it frame by frame.
Yes, and they painted it in. And I think it's one of his more famous kind of self-portrait has that.
Oh no, sorry.
It's that kind of slightly wavy textured. I think like all of you and your clothing take on that kind of wavy textured.
Amazing.
Your base armor class is now 13. So what's your current armor class?
11.
So your armor class is now 14.
Nice.
Okay.
Right.
That will do.
That is your action.
I'm going to die now.
I don't know what else. And then and start kind of trying to run an edge and hide a bit but go towards
where Cohen
is.
So you're 30 feet down the corridor.
Yeah.
Well, 25 if you're a dwarf.
25.
Fine, so you're halfway there.
Yeah.
Good. Ashakti, what would you like to do?
Wait, how far away did you say the door was?
The door that Cohen dove in is 50 feet away.
50 feet away?
Yeah, the corridor is 50 feet long and it's one of the last few doors. So to get inside would be 50 feet.
Oh. Go, stop reading my idea, Chris. Oh, I see.
You're going to be able to stop it, damn it. We'll see.
I'm going to follow Cohen.
You run in?
Yeah.
You run, again, slightly animated here because they haven't moved yet, but you sort of, again, where Cohen did a very cool slide dive, you're more like, shit, and just run through them and dive, move and dive quickly into the room, and Cohen is with you. On initiative count 20, which is after your turn, the shutters are all down. You have a bonus action if you want it.
I was looking at my bonus action.
Hang on.
Wait, the shutters are all down now?
Yes, they are now locked in.
So the two of you are in the Raven
shade.
Yeah, sorry, Raven shade. I was trying to say Ravenclaw. The Raven shades.
No, that's very different. That's a diadem. It's not of a tower.
So you two are both in there and the door's shut.
Correct.
You're nearly there.
Bars, it's not solid.
It's bars.
Yes,
You're just over halfway there.
Everyone has seen me go through space without it being there at all. As in, I can
Misty
step whenever I want. So
Good point.
it's not
cool. That needn't be a
On
worry.
your turn.
Anyway, so Ashakti, you have run down the corridor. You've also jumped in, and just as you catching your feet almost as you go, this portcullis comes down, and you and Cohen are locked in the vault. You're outside. You two are still at the end of the corridor. Right.
Oh God.
I'm going to come back to the bars to kind of see and
Cool. No
prepare
problem.
for my next turn.
Right.
Don't get used to it. We'll get you out.
The daggers. 3 of these flying weapons are daggers. 4 of these flying weapons are daggers and move faster than the swords because they are smaller and are shooting down the corridor. One is going to try and impact you as it heads down the corridor. I'll do one at a time. That is a 9 to hit you.
Nope.
And it sort of goes right past you. And I think it's almost like it's coming right in front of your eyes as you dodge out of the way. And the other 3 are going to sort of go as fast as they can to impact the back corridor where the 2 of you are. 2 on you, 1 on you.
Okay.
Viorica, does a 19 hit you?
Oh yes.
Does a 5 hit you?
No.
One of the daggers slams into you and knocks you back, and as you are knocked back, the other one goes right over and goes above you and hits the wall.
That's smart.
You take 4 points of piercing damage.
Ow, right.
And Lilith. Oh, that is only a 9 to hit you.
Nope.
You dodge out of the way as the other one bounces off the side. All 4 of these daggers are now floating in this corridor, one menacing you.
So it's just stabbed and then gone away again.
I'm going to say it's stuck in you because it's more fun.
Yeah.
So one is stuck in you, one is floating and menacing you, one is floating and menacing you, and one is floating and menacing you. There are still some swords also coming down from the other end of the corridor.
Yes.
Right. Good.
Oh, this is fun.
Viorica, what would you like to do?
Oh Lord, I've been trying to think what on earth I can do. I really can't do much. Okay, my initial... there's no way of getting through the bars into any of the vaults now that they're all shut.
No, there is not. And the daggers are creatures, so they get attacks opportunity if you leave their space.
Understood. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay. Would hold person work on a...
No.
Right.
It's not a person.
Well, I know.
It's a dagger.
I understand.
Weedy daggers.
Sorry, is this a dagger I see?
No, very good, very good.
Yes, Steve. It is a dagger. A literal dagger.
Very good.
You're not allowed in our portcullis room.
No cage can hold me.
Ooh.
Just a
Ooh,
little bit.
well, now. You see,
I'm gonna do.
Bingo.
Anyway,
This is the tense role play you were looking for.
yes. So I'm gonna cast Blade Ward because I can.
Okay, you cast Blade Ward on yourself. What does that do?
Resistance against
I extend
piercing.
my well, no, actually I don't. Well, because it says extend your hand. You extend your hand in the air and trace a sigil of warding.
Do what you like.
Well, no, it's going to be through the voice. So it's going to be the yeah. It's going to be it's sort of traced out like that. And
Little
it's-
Mermaid-esque.
Lovely, you Little Mermaid award. While the dagger's still there, going, "Oh!"
This is supposed to hurt less if I do this.
That's your action.
That's my action.
Take a bonus action.
I don't think there's anything else I can do with that.
You are a bard, Ed.
That is it. Oh, well, understood.
It's up to you what you do.
No, I know, but the problem
something.
Is, who am I going to
Stop singing at the colour and do something.
All right, I will give you bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Take it.
Okay, sure.
Tis your turn.
All right, if it won't work for me. That kind of thing.
Right, I think the best thing to do is for me to just use my last second spell slot, or just use my best thing and do locate object so that you two in there can find it. Yes, good. And I'll cast locate object for.
We haven't even looked yet. I'm going to say...
Well, you're going
Okay,
what
no,
you
sorry.
want to
You
say,
do what
say
you
the
do.
thing.
No,
I
make it
just think
easy.
it's going to
You do
take a
what
lot
you
of rounds for you to try and
Yeah,
find
yeah,
this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Working here?
We might be dead.
What? Why not? Oh.
I don't know.
We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll find out. I cast locate object on the paintbrush.
Can you read me the rules of locate object, please?
Lawyer.
No, it's just.
Describe or name an object that is familiar to you.
Is it familiar to you?
I saw it because I went round the tour.
I will say that you can remember it. That is fine. You cast back into your memory. You remember this very unassuming paintbrush, and you go right and try and locate it. What is locate
Sense.
object limited by?
Ooh.
1,000 feet. If
That's fine. It's in within 1,000 feet.
and then 30 and specific object in 30 feet.
Yes, that's not. That's less helpful.
What?
Let me read it. You sense the direction of the object's location as long as that was within 1,000 feet of you.
Yeah, I can get the specific location of it if I'm 30 feet.
If you're within 30 feet away, yes, but you're not at the moment.
Ah.
And the spell can't locate an object of any thickness of lead. Even a tiny sheet blocks a direct path between you and the object. Direct path, there is a direct path and no lead blocking it. Okay. So you cast locate. I was checking because the walls are lead lined. The walls are magically reinforced for obvious reasons.
Understood.
But there is a direct line, just it goes around a corner, which is fine. I wonder if it was line of sight. Yeah, I was wondering if it was line of sight, but it isn't. Rules lawyered done. So you sense the paintbrush in the room these two are in, generally.
Yeah.
Because it's not within 30 feet yet.
Okay, cool.
It's definitely there.
Great. I'm going to risk it for a Swiskit and take the opportunity attack that will happen to me when I move.
Yep, as you try.
How far away is their thingy? Is it 60 feet or something away?
It's 50 feet away.
Cool, I'm going to use Expeditious Retreat as a
You
bonus
can't cast
action.
2 spells.
It's a bonus action spell.
You can't cast 2 spells.
Unless one's a
This one's a cantrip.
Oh shit! Nothing. Not important. What happens next time?
Fine, I will use my. I will just go 30 feet for now because I'm not.
Cool.
I'm going to get up.
As you get within 30 feet of the vault, which you're by this point, you can pinpoint where in the room it is. You just can't see it
Yeah,
yet.
okay.
You know it's in that room and you have a specific location in that room, but you can't see into the room to say where it is yet. You see what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
Grand. The dagger will try and stab you as you run past
Got you.
it.
Oh, good.
It's a 9 again.
Ayo.
I've rolled 3 6s. What is up with this? At least they're not 1s.
Yeah, I was going to
At
say.
least they're not 1s. You dodge out of the way of the dagger and run down the corridor
Can I
towards
get a
where
sense of lefty, righty.
Warmer.
Yeah.
you can't see the room fully yet, so it's more like a glowing hotspot. But you can't like visualize
Right,
the room; it's
okay.
not been there yet.
got you.
There's a glowing hotspot, but you can't see it yet.
Cool. Try and find it next round.
The dagger tries to sort of stab you as you run past, and is following you because I'm going to. It's following you as you go, but it hasn't actually attacked yet.
you.
And you run past Abernathy, where another dagger is moving out of the way of that one. So it's all very kinetic. Thank you. Right. Inside the vault. The two of you have stepped inside this vault and you notice that there's all these objets that are lined around this space. And in the centre on a pedestal at the back is a sort of gargoyle of a dragon.
no! Oh,
Oh, balls.
I thought we were.
And you have a sort of faint, like, there was one of these in every... Oh, crap. As it slowly starts to... Its wings spread
From the
out.
dragon, from the daggers behind the wall. I was
in
like,
which
this looks
bit,
safe.
Oh, yeah.
This is safe.
Yeah.
No.
In the portcullis. In the.
Can you both please make me a dexterity saving throw?
We're in so much.
Gumdrops. I continue to do okay.
It doesn't feel like we're going to survive at the moment.
22.
Does it?
Fucking hell.
One of us might.
That's the one who
It's
pronounces.
just fine.
I'm going to re-roll and use my second luck. I have 1 luck left.
Yes.
No.
Synthetic 20.
Synthetic 20.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
sorry, I thought it was a single.
No.
You both take... That's 17 total, so halved is... 8. You'd both take 8 points of fire damage as it just opens its mouth and fire burns out in a cone. You do notice as fire burns out in a cone that all of the objects in this room, the cone has been angled, and where the objects have been placed, also this cone will not touch the objects. Yes. It's very carefully like, this is the security zone, basically.
Get in the
as
pit.
it bursts out, and you both burn slightly, but roll aside and get out of the way. Meanwhile, the 2 swords that took slightly longer are now flying straight down the corridor, and the 2 of you are now further up in the Orica.
Yeah.
Abernathy, that's an 8. I know that doesn't hit you. And Lilith, that's a 13.
Nope.
Both of the swords sort of scythe past. And they're like, one goes high, one goes low, but it's the wrong heights for both of you, so it goes over your head and you step over and move over and it goes underneath. But they are now...
Matrix you.
And a dagger and a knife are now both circling each of you.
Okay.
And there's 2 daggers on the Orica.
Yeah.
Not sure I'm going to get out of this with my beard.
Does need a trim.
Oh, what? Nice.
Fuck you! Cohen, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Okay, the dragon is explicitly mechanical, right?
It is, it's a construct, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I am so useless in this situation.
That's not true.
And
I'm trying.
You can heal people there.
That's very true.
is it
So all of the healers are outside.
is it mobile or affixed to this platform like a turret?
At this point, you can't tell.
Yeah.
It has just stood there, flexed its wings, and gone out into the room.
Okay. I will. This is very likely to not work, but let's try.
Shut up.
Sorry.
I whip a card out my pocket and try and begin casting a spell, and the card sort of burns all rainbow, and then just at the very end, like the flame all goes black.
Oh God, what are you doing?
I try to cast blindness on this, because I don't know if this is like a cloud around its eyes or if it's disabling its brain. I don't know how it works.
Does it say on a creature?
It says you can blind or deafen a foe. Choose one creature. But
You can choose any kind of creature. Unfortunately, it is immune to being blinded. So
it's immune to being blinded,
you try and blind it, which is a cool move, and I'm sorry, but constructs are immune to a lot of different status effects. The whole point of constructs. But yes, its eyes cloud over briefly, and then nothing happens because it doesn't have eyes, technically.
Cool.
That's the principle there. That is your action.
Then... How much space is behind it? Like, is there any...
It is flush against the wall on a pedestal, and there was one in each vault.
Okay.
But you said that all the objects were out of its...
Yes, the objects had been placed outside of the cone of flame that came out of
there was
it.
space outside the cone that we could also stand in.
Yes, the vault is a quite large room. It's about 20-foot cube, so like...
We can just step out of its way.
I will
Unless it can move.
I will move into like the far corner.
Yes.
So that there's no way it could hit us both at the same time.
Righto.
And I'm positioned over there.
Good idea.
Grant? You step out of the way. No bonus action?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just sort of shout, "Get out the way of the fire!" And
Good, makes good common sense.
Look, he has an amount of faith. So, I will give you inspiration.
By saying get out of the way of the floor.
I'm gesturing.
That inspirational. It was kind of patronising.
What else do you think it would be?
Bardic patronising, that's a new one.
I'm like gesturing at the opposite corner to the one
I see.
so that we can
enter
it.
Wise. Abernathy, you're in the corridor being beset by a floating sword, being menaced by a flying sword and a flying dagger. Yes. At this point, you realise... No, your initiative count 22. Never mind. Excuse me, initiative count 20. Things happen.
Right. Oh, good.
Oh. Right. Try and deal with a sword or something.
See, I mean, part of me is like, I don't think I could do that. I kind of want to grab one to fight the other one off, but I don't think that's how those are going to work.
Yeah,
You can certainly try.
I know, but is it better just buffing everyone else? Sorry, I'll try. I'll go. I'll
do it.
Grab the.
Good.
Hang on. Checks proficiencies.
Oh yeah.
You're proficient with a dagger, probably not with the sword.
Yeah. Grabs the dagger.
Okay,
Goes to grab the dagger to try and fight with the sword.
Can you make me a contested grapple with the dagger, please?
I don't know.
So
Let's see if I
it's
can.
athletics for you.
What?
8.
17. As you reach out for the dagger, it flies out the way of your hand and you can't grab hold of it. That is your action. Would I take a bonus action?
I'm not actually sure I have any bonus actions I could... Yes, I do.
Do it.
But, I mean, how badly injured did you look?
I don't think anyone's badly injured yet.
No, no one's badly injured yet.
Not half. I'm not.
I'll save
half
it.
yet.
I think.
Right. Bugger it, I'll draw them off. Oh no, because if I move away, they'll take... I can't, like...
Technically, they get a tax opportunity if you move away, yes, because they are technically creatures.
I can't draw them off. I can't draw them off! That's it then, I can't do anything else.
Okay, end of your turn. Ashakti, what would you like to do?
Remember to use the things, even then I think, oh, I'll use them next time. But no, just use them all the time. All the times are the good times to use the things. I would like to... Chaos Bolt. Nothing.
Oh!
I would like to... Go, Chaos Bolt the dragon. My move! Burning things.
You Chaos Bolt the dragon. Make me a attack roll.
Well, how long ago was it that I...
Oh, I have inspiration.
No, guidance is only until you use it once. It's bless, I'm thinking of, sorry.
And I was going to say at second level as well, and I missed that.
What'd you roll?
Like a... Oh no, maybe
quite
like
important.
a 11.
11. You've got a 5 and a 4 in there.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to use the inspiration. I didn't actually use the inspiration. I'm going to use the inspiration because I thought it was like something. 13.
13 does not hit. As you reach out with your hand to fire the Chaos Bolt at the creature, and it has some kind of magic effect. We haven't rolled the damage, so we don't know what it is. As it streaks out, it hops off the pedestal and floats up into the air slightly as a dragon would, and then clonk lands with it on the floor. It can't fly; it's too heavy. But your bolt impacts the back wall. Can you please roll me a D100?
I have to roll 2.
You have to roll 2 D100.
Because I have to roll 1 normally anyway, so I'm going to roll the normal one,
I know.
which I have to roll even if you don't type of chaos me,
Surely
was
it's
a-
cocked or not.
which was a 12.
I think
Isn't it every time you cast a spell?
Yeah, I just cast a spell.
so.
And
You've
then-
cast a spell, so you automatically wild magic surge. So
Oh, okay.
roll the D100. You don't have to roll after the spell cast. It's fine.
Yes, sorry.
Just roll the D100.
Yes.
So rolling do hand.
It's okay. Sorcerers are complicated.
Well, I didn't. I rolled a 12.
Doesn't matter. Roll me a D100.
Yeah. Because I also have to roll whenever I cast a spell to see if there's a wild magic surge
and that
anyway, but
one,
it's already happening anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't a 12. That was, you were right. That was a D20. I did not roll that. 40.
Isn't that... That's very
4.
close to what you
4.
rolled.
Yeah.
It's a 4.
That's a
that is a
4.
That's a 4.
That's a 4.
4. 4. Quite low, isn't it?
Yeah.
For the next minute, you can see invisible creatures. There aren't any here. Hey, wild magic. There we go.
So for the next minute, you can't see invisible creatures.
Well, you can, but there aren't any.
I failed to see invisible creatures.
So you don't
even
know
know.
anything has happened.
You don't even know what happened.
I feel like the entire place is suffused with a pink light, and you would see the things as coming up brighter pink, but
No.
Okay.
Just nothing.
Stop doing
Nothing here.
Stop doing
I I did also just roll
D&D.
that one on my normal check, but I don't know if they stack.
They don't. No, wild magic things don't stack. You don't roll if I do Tides of Chaos.
Okay. I am going to find with my movement, try and hide behind a piece of art.
Sure, you jump behind a
On the
painting.
basis that I'm hoping
Just seems a shame to destroy it, but alright if it's the only defence you have.
the dragon doesn't want to destroy the art, and that's maybe one of its key priorities.
Let's see.
Would be an obvious thing to do in a vault, wouldn't it?
And if not, don't care.
You dive behind a painting and just go, ah! So hold it like, are you holding it like a shield? Like, no!
Yeah.
I'll allow. I like that. I think that's cute.
This situation.
At initiative count 20, the statue of Gond at the far end of the corridor, the hand is still gesturing out, moves forward. And as it moves forward, you realise the statue is moving forward, not walking. Just the pedestal it's on is moving, but the wall behind it is also moving forward and moves forward 10 feet.
Okay.
The door.
That's time as well.
More urgent.
The door that these two are behind, you can now see the statue of Gond, and you'll have to imagine it like a sort of slow-moving thing past. It's now, you're starting to see the statue of Gond appearing in through your portcullis like an oh dear, as it's moving towards. Yup. Right. You have 2 flying daggers on you, one stuck in you, one still floating around you.
Yes.
The one stuck in you tries to get out and it's stuck, like it sort of grinds against a collarbone maybe, but it doesn't do any damage. It's just
Oh, you little bugger, I've got you.
and as it does, the other one swings by and cuts your cheek in a very rakish way.
That's what I've always wanted. No, not you.
And you take 2 points of piercing damage. Death by 1,000 cuts. You take 1 point of piercing damage. It's death by 1,000 cuts.
There is a I can't remember what they're called, but the guys did the Prussians who did the dueling scars.
Yes.
thing. So it's a dueling scar on
Very
the
much a
side.
dueling scar, yes.
Sweet.
No.
I'll take that.
Goes around on the side. The daggers on the both of you will also dive in. The one that you tried to grab goes weak and so it tries to attack the arm that's floated around it. 11.
No.
Cuts past again. They're very fast, but they're also very inaccurate. They haven't got eyes. Lilith. Nat 20.
Oh!
There it is.
That must have heard.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
You take 5 points of piercing damage as the dagger cuts quite deep into your sternum, I imagine.
Yeah, that was going to happen.
And cuts through the magical defenses Abernathy put in. It's very quick and very angry. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all the daggers. Bjorka, your turn.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm probably going to try and do the same kind of contested grapple. Is that an action?
Contested grapple is an action, yes.
Oh, no, because I thought he was going to do this. Okay. Would necrotic damage actually damage one of the...
You don't know.
That's what I mean. So he's going to try and toll the dead one of these things.
I'm going to try and toll the dead the dagger. That's fine. Yeah. What do I have to do?
So I point at one of them, which is presumably the one that just cut me. As you think you can cut me and get away with it. And the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for the moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw.
It's a dagger. It has no wisdom.
Indeed. Or take a 1d8 necrotic damage.
I rolled a 17, but that means the wisdom saving throw is a 14.
No! Oh, thank goodness. Right.
Cool. Roll the damage.
I don't think so, I do. So, did I say d4? No, it's a d8. Hooray. 1 point of damage.
Cool. The dagger doesn't flinch because it can't. It's a dagger. Actually, let's animate it slightly. The dagger sort of...
Cut the bastard! Wait a minute!
Excellent. That is your action.
Yes, and I don't need to take a bonus action yet, I don't think. No, I think that's all right. If I move, it's going to have an attack of opportunity, right?
2 of them technically will, yes.
Oh God, yes, no.
One is stuck in you, but it's going to count as attack of opportunity. It runs with you, basically.
That's what I mean. Okay, so right, yes, I will do that and go. That kind of worked.
You're just staying there.
Yes.
Grand. Lilith.
Hello. Right.
One dagger and one sword. The dagger is
Yes.
cut quite deep.
I'm going to...
And you still have look at objects concentration spell.
Yes, it is.
Concentration check.
19.
You're more than fine, yeah.
Wonderful news. Cool.
Your
I'm
access
going
to the room where you need to point out where things are is rapidly shrinking as this statue is just moving forward down the corridor.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
Spit tension and stress. What I'm here for.
I will Can I take the dodge action? Will that mean I don't get any opportunity attacks?
The dodge action would mean opportunity attacks are made with disadvantage, technically.
Right.
Bless you. That's all right. No, bless you. It's fine.
Not worth it. I'll do a firebolt at...
They're within close proximity to you. You'd have disadvantage on the attack roll because it's a ranged spell attack.
Is it now?
It is, yes.
Good.
Rules.
Fine.
Yeah, we've not got many spells.
I'll cast Acid Splash on them, which is not...
Everything within 5 feet of you gets splashed with acid, doesn't it?
That's going to include me, isn't it?
No, you're Anna's next to... sorry, Lilith is next to
I can
Abernathy.
choose 2 creatures within range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they must be within 5 feet of one another.
Oh, 5 feet of one another?
Yeah.
Choose 1 or 2 creatures you can see within range. If you choose 2, they must be within 5 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can hit both the sword and the dagger.
Cool, I will do that. They make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Yeah, that might
I'm sure they have wonderful dex saves.
That's the one stat they're pretty good at, yeah.
Sure it is.
The dagger rolls a 16.
Yeah.
The sword...
They might be vulnerable to acid damage.
Sword rolls a nat 1.
Cool. So the sword takes 5 points of damage.
Yeah.
Yes.
The acid bites. No, the acid bites into the sword, and the both of the sort of pommel and the hilt just sort of like melt down. It's like a very curved handle, and these creatures can't show pain, but the sword sort of like sinks in the air like.
Oh, don't be sad with me.
Looks like a Dali painting.
And then I will use. I know I get opportunity attacks again, but I have to get to see this chamber, so I'm going to run to the portcullis. And
cool. The locate object is still active, but you take 2 opportunity attacks as you run past them.
Yes.
You didn't take the dodge action, so it's just straight attack rolls.
Yeah.
That's 20 non-natural from the dagger and a 7 from the sword. Can you roll me a concentration check?
Do I add something?
It is a Constitution saving throw.
Con.
It's a con saving throw.
13.
Yeah, you're fine.
No, actually.
More than that.
No, yeah, it's 13.
You're absolutely fine. The dagger does slash you for 3 points of piercing damage as you run past it.
Can I go and have a look?
As you look in through the door, you see this dragon construct on the floor sort of prowling a little, like it's just landed, just deciding which of you to go for. And looking through the room, you can, like almost it's glowing, like you can see in a pile next to a Shakti is the paintbrush. It's underneath things, like it's buried. It's not like on display. It's just been thrown in there apparently.
Sure. Can I say where? Can I like kind of go like, okay, next to you there is a pile of books. Underneath that pile of book, and think like.
Considering where the statue is, do you stay in front of the doorway? Your movement would have taken you 20 feet to get there. Yeah. Do you want to stay in front of the doorway where the statue is crushing you?
I'll go back behind. I'll dive back behind the thing and peer around and be like, Shakti. In your head very clearly, being like, it's underneath this pile of books. You'll have to look like around this thing, and then I'll describe where it is.
Be as accurate as possible.
What are you hiding behind?
So there's like walls in between each.
If the door,
like the portcullis isn't flush with the wall. So
the portcullis is flush with the wall, but there is a sort of small gap between the portcullis and the next portcullis. It's not like they're immediately flush onto each other.
There's like walls.
There's walls in between.
Oh, you're hiding from the dragon, not the daggers.
Yeah. No.
Sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
And
Gotcha.
the figure with its hand outstretched like that, and remind you of its hand outstretched like that, moving down the corridor.
Yes, you're not hiding from that. That's it's just in the space.
But
it's just
now you know.
Perfect.
Approaches.
Fantastic.
Did you only communicate that to?
I mean, I yelled it.
Oh, you yelled out loud. Okay, cool.
Grand.
As well as doing it in the head, because why not do the kind of like dual thing?
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. Right. The dragon, looking at you hiding behind a painting, which I'm going to allow as partial cover effectively because it can't attack any of the items in the vault, and looking at you, are you sort of like standing in a corner, or are you like connected?
I mean, if there was stuff in the corner that I ran to, then I'm standing around some stuff, but I didn't say I was specifically holding an object up, so...
Okay, in which case it thinks you're an easier target, because it does have an intelligence score, it's not super high. Yeah. So it's going to run over and like a small dog just leap up at your chest like and like try and claw at you because it can't use its fire breath around the objects in the vault unless. So
that's the start though.
Runs up and that is the 5th 6 I have rolled today. That's a 10.
No.
10 AC. Conk, it's sort of on you and snapping wildly at you, but it's not managing to do anything to you. Right.
So only get one attack.
It only gets one attack. These things are not high level. I've put a lot of small things because it's more fun for me. And also, I'm testing the encounter thing, which is working really well, by the way. Well done, d&dbeyond.
Well done,
You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
There are now 2 swords and 2 daggers around Abernathy because you've moved off.
Oh, crumbs.
Sword, babe.
The daggers have already had their turn, but I think the swords are both going to go for you. One having a very droopy hilt at this point, like a sort of cool scimitar. Like, yeah.
I've been amazingly lucky. I haven't even hit yet. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to change, wasn't it?
No.
That is a no. That's
is for
yeah.
Chris, not for you.
Not like
I have rolled a natural 1 from the first sword. I think because it's starting to melt a little, it's sort of like it doesn't have the same weight and sort of overbalances a little. It's not having a good day. Whereas the other one strikes out at you for a 12.
Yes.
Just hits. Okay. Well, the second catches you for 8 points of slashing damage. There are now 2 swords and 2 daggers floating around you, none around you. You 2 are in the room, 2 daggers. Just reminding myself and the audience at home because there's a lot going on. Yes. Right, at the top of initiative, Cohen.
Okay.
Come on, Ensign.
We've had it mentioned many times now that this thing has its hand outstretched.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stretch my hand out. If this is gonna consume a whole action, tell me, because I probably won't do it if it does.
You're going to give it a high five.
I stretch my hand out at the dragon.
The dragon.
And
it's on your chest at the moment. You're sort of doing it past it.
Oh, okay. Basically, I use my talk bit of my move to talk to it, and I'm like,
"Come on, then, doggy.
I am Tharavel, and I own this vault. Get off me!" And I tried to command it to stop.
Roll me an interesting.
Dude, that's a very good call.
It's a magical construct.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking a lot of like intelligence scores and things like that.
Yeah, but it's
not that smart.
If it doesn't work, I'll attack it.
No, that's a brilliant idea.
What I will say is that I will not let it take your action, but it is touching you and aware that you are not who you say you are.
That's fair.
It also it's programmed when the vault has been breached to attack any intruders, regardless of who they are.
I also thought this might be the case.
No, the hand is something different.
It's a good thing, or
process of elimination with the hand.
Yeah. As you reach out and go stop, you realise that you're not able to stop it.
I tried to save your life, little guy. And then I will attack it twice with scimitars, if possible.
Absolutely, yeah, it's on you, so it's within 5 feet of you. You're absolutely welcome to attack it.
So, first attack is a 17.
That hits, yes.
Lovely. I'm going to defensive flourish so that
absolutely fine.
C is nice and fat. So it's normal damage dice and then bonus damage dice. So it takes a grand total of 9 damage.
9 damage.
My AC is now 20.
Nice.
And then I attack it again.
I know.
That is a 23, so that's a hit.
It is, absolutely.
And this one does 7 points of damage.
You hit it twice, and there is a faint clong clong, as both like you're not like doing like you're bashing it, but you are bashing bits of it in. It's looking very badly dented. It's clearly not made to be like super chonk. It's more to like ward off, and then if that first blast doesn't deal with it, it's not really that helpful. But also, you're locked in a room. Like these are all just countermeasures for everything you could possibly do. Any bonus actions?
I think I used it because of the second attack.
Great. Okay.
Very nice.
Abernathy, what would you like to do?
So this statue with the hand,
it has moved 10 feet down the corridor. It is because it's turn-based initiative. It is slowly moving down the corridor. The hand's still outstretched, and it is now moving past the doorway where these two are. The wall behind it is also moving and is flush. So at a certain point, you'll be cut off from these two.
The statue is so it's not like it is some kind of automata itself that's moving. It is like just moving as part of a whole wall. It looks more like a statue.
It is a statue, not an automaton, not in the same way. It goes on initiative counts and has one thing it can do, and it doesn't get a choice in the matter.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out if the hand is something that can then rework to kind of reverse it. But I think I'm going to have to go over and have a look to actually figure that out, aren't I?
You can do it.
I think I'm... Well, this is going to cause us trouble sooner or later. right, and disengage.
Oh, disengage.
As an action,
Fine.
probably.
Disengage as an action,
and
yes.
run over to look, even though I probably can't investigate it until next turn. Am I all right? Like saving some of my movement to move back as it kind of.
Yes, you're moving with it. I'm allowing that you're moving with it. That's totally fine. You're not going to be crushed by it because you're there. That's a dick move by me.
Term, and you can't save any movement. You just get squashed.
No, I will count as its movement is there. You are effectively standing 10 feet away from it, and it moves to you on this turn, because it's about to go. It hasn't gone yet though. Ashakti, what would you like to do?
Our initiative is like
I know.
daggers and I would like to.
It's gone very well.
First level Chaos Bolt.
Yes.
The dragon.
Okay.
It's definitely not gonna hit.
Did it fall off me, or is it still on my chest?
Still on you.
Yeah, but like that's gonna be fine, right? Probably. I'll find out.
Oh god.
I'm gonna use my luck to re-roll it.
Okay.
My
Last luck.
Luck.
16.
Hits.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna blast it. That's, I already said that. Where's my 8s? Oh, there.
Go for it.
Right, that is
Now we decide what kind of damage it is and how much damage it is and all the rest of it.
cold damage.
Cold damage. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
For 11 points of damage.
Cohen, as you're holding his chest, it suddenly arches its back weirdly like a small dog and then just like freezes almost solid in your hands. Defeated.
Yeah! Nice.
So you're still holding it like... Oh. Tonk, tonk, tonk. And it's not like...
Or just tonk, shatter.
It's not breaking into pieces, no. It's not frozen solid like a block of ice, but it is just off. Conk just lands in the middle of the room.
Well, I'm gonna start going through books.
Where Lilith told you to look.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be an action to find it. So
Well,
you are
you're
starting doing it. That's totally fine. As you do that, you look out and realise that the statue and the wall are now moving past your portcullis. There is a corridor behind it, like it's clearly filling the corridor, but it's not like you're going to like. But you now cannot hear or see your allies.
Wait, what? Is it gone in front of?
It's covered the portcullis.
Which side were you on?
You're very close. You're both like within 5 feet of it as it moves down towards. I'm not going to say it crushes you. You can step back.
But so,
It crushes at the end of the corridor.
It's blocked off our access and sightline,
Yes.
but so
but it's not a solid wall.
you said that there was sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Ravenshade vault was 3.
Right at the end.
It's 5.
Yeah, that's why it took that long to get.
Oh, fine. Okay, cool.
It's all the way at the end.
Yeah, that's what I need to know.
I'm very confused now.
So the wall that's coming forward, I'm seeing it go past, and it's actually thin. It's not a big solid, like it's a wall that I see go like.
Yeah, the wall goes past. You see the statue sort of ominously go past with Abernathy looking at it, and both of them move back, and now that wall and the statue have moved past.
And there's a space behind it, just
It's just the corridor, like it's
the corridor, but without the statue.
Okay,
in the
yes,
end.
got you.
Yep.
Do you
Following?
understood?
Draw your diagram.
Yes, no, I understand. Thank you.
Cool.
Very, very much.
Right. Okay. On an initiative count of 20, the hand that is outstretched will crackle with arcane energy.
Oh,
Of course it will.
Lord.
Yes.
Got a little bit of snap, crackle, pop.
Can everyone in the corridor please make me a dexterity saving throw? So that's the 3 of you.
Have your inspiration then?
You do.
Doesn't really think it matters.
really?
What is it? A D4? Is it D6?
D6, I think. Let me just check.
Oh god.
No. Okay. Yeah, D6.
16.
16.
Ooh, shit.
3.
Yep.
Natural 1.
Yep.
This is going to hurt.
Sure, we're going to. Yeah.
Cool. You're taking half damage from this.
Doing that hit point.
Good.
From it, it's not a beam. There's this sort of almost like your mind warping, psychic energy blast down, because psychic energy doesn't affect constructs. So the swords and daggers are all fine. But
That's a lot of dice.
oh, that's only half of it. 11, 16,
Both of us.
Yeah.
18,
Yep, done.
Oh no.
Holy crap!
Oh no.
18, 25, 31, 33. You to take 33 points of damage. You only take half of that, so
We're both out.
So close to me being completely just killed
same.
outright.
Same.
Wow.
But me and Viorica.
What is half of 33? 16. Thank you. Is that rounded down? That is rounded down. 16.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, even that would have taken me down.
Yeah, same.
As this like this sort of horrible, like you can almost hear it, and like you almost get like a sideways, like jeez, as this figure, this is still moving down, and Lilith has fallen to the ground next to you, and it's very close to this thing just rolling over her.
How are you feeling about that prediction now?
And the daggers and swords are still floating around and very much fine with this because psychic energy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're not going to die, so it's fine.
Really?
How is that
Doubling down, are you?
100% sure about this, are you?
It is now the dagger's turn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Then it will be the sword's
hit.
turn.
and they auto crit.
Okay, yeah, but if you just fight something with enough obliviousness and positive will...
No, you misunderstand. They auto crit, and there's 2 fighting Ed.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of which is already in me.
Oh.
They might go fight Steve.
No,
There's two daggers around.
there's 2 daggers around you.
So what's happening now?
Well, you fail 3 less saving throws automatically because they both attack you and they're critical hits.
Cool. Okay, so I'm done.
Yep.
Oh.
The dagger flying around, the daggers that were flying around you are now flying forward. One is going straight for Lilith, which is an auto crit. As the dagger,
Little buggers.
it's in,
Why?
and one is going to attack you, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, that's high. It's a 21 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
You take 3 points of piercing damage.
Sure.
Viorica, it would be your turn. Lilith, what would you like to do?
I would like to roll a death saving throw.
Oh my god.
Prophecy coming true.
You can keep your gum shut, my friend.
Anna, can you take a picture of that, please?
Yes, yes, I can.
At the end of your turn, you come back to consciousness with 1 hit point. Is it the start of your turn?
It's the start
Start of your turn. You have an action. You have everything you can do.
Voice of God.
Start of your turn. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Emma.
God.
That was giant. Anyway. Giant. Anyway. Nothing. I was looking straight upwards and realised that there is somebody on top of me if you're looking at the screen.
Yes, it's charming.
Perfect.
Hello.
Right. Okay.
No. Sorry.
You're fine.
not the mood.
I would
Oh,
like
God.
to get up. There's nothing at me right now, is there?
This statue is about to roll over you. You roll out of the
I'm
way.
gonna use half a movement and then move back.
If you move back, there is a dagger that has just attacked
I'm
you.
gonna just cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp and try and stop this from moving anymore.
Stop it from moving or try and push it back.
Well, yeah. I don't know how because it's really meant for like it just says.
It's all right. Talk me through the rules of the spell.
5 foot unoccupied space.
Yep.
Medium hand made from soil, whatever.
Yes.
Strength saving throw, and then it can take. If not, it takes bludgeoning damage and is restrained. So
Restrained stops movement.
So stop moving.
Would stop it moving. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Yeah.
So a strength saving throw. It's a construct that doesn't have a strength score because it's just a solid state piece.
Yeah.
So as the hand reaches out, it just grabs up and holds it in place.
Yeah. Does it take damage?
Yeah.
Cool. So that's 2d6. 7 points of damage.
Right.
And it remains it.
It tries and grinds against your hand, but your hand is magic and supernaturally strong, and it's made of this sort of strange, almost marble design thing that's there, and it's just holding it in place. I'm going to say it holds it for now. It'll have to do strength checks at certain points.
That's fair.
We'll use some BB's hand rules on that, I think, to make that work.
And do I turn around and see what's just happened?
Yeah.
Move him!
Okay. The flying swords, there are still 2 of them, are around you. They came with you, they attacked you, and you ran up, so they're going to come up the high ground. One's going to go for each of you.
Oh.
I don't have mage armor,
Hang on,
do I?
yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't.
It's not a concentration.
Oh, so I
Should
do.
always be there.
Technically, you
I
still
know
have mage armor.
about mage armor.
It's if you don't armor.
Hey, Abernathy, does an 8 hit you?
Nope.
Hey, Lilith, does a 6 hit you?
No.
Fucking dice. These swords just come flying towards you and are just slashing out, but you're both exhaustedly just holding back these two. I mean, they're not particularly like swinging like swords. They're constructs. They're trying to sort of float at you, and you get the sense they're not like, it's a nice design piece, but they don't just sort of hold and swing like a sword. They're more sort of like trying to find a way in, and you can dodge out the way of them as they go. Cohen, it is your turn.
Okay. You're rummaging around looking for a paintbrush, aren't you? How much, like, did that psychic thing made a big horrible noise, didn't it? Or
You had a sort of like something awful just happened in the corridor because you got like backwash from it.
how far past our portcullis has the wall gone?
It's literally just moved past it. So it's now, you can see that it's there's a grinding noise and it's clearly trying to move forward and can't, which you can interpret any way you wish.
I move to the portcullis
Yep.
entrance because there's no immediate threats in the room anymore.
No.
And I try to look at the back of this thing to see if it has some sort of off switch.
It doesn't really have an off switch.
Like your thinking. I like that thinking.
It's a very odd thing. Does it have an off switch?
Yes.
I mean, imagine that my version of this fantasy.
Take out the plug.
Be an off lever. Is there an off lever?
Right.
Okay. What I will say is you look at the bag. Roll me a perception check.
Does the seeming last through?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah.
Fate wants to tell me my suggestions.
Yeah, dude.
Stupid.
Very happy with that.
It's not going to be great, guys. It's going to be bad. And it is a 6.
6. You cast a quick look at the back of this, and it's just plain stone. You know? Where's the off switch? The camera floats away from you, looks at the wall which it came from, with a very clear glyph on the wall where it came from, which you can't see. I'm just saying it's there, so we all know.
Okay.
There's a symbol of Gond on the wall at the back that looks like it can be disrupted or
I cannot see glyph,
drawn magically.
So I
cannot see glyph.
I start searching the room for any kind of. So I'm not looking for the paintbrush. I'm looking for powerful-looking magical art, like artifacts, anything I can shoot at the wall. Just like someone desperately searching for something that looks like gun, just like something useful to help.
You've used your action to look for the glyph and not found it. I'll allow you to look back at the room, and you're not going to roll an investigation check because you've already had an action. But as you look back at the room, a lot of it is these art objects that were clearly quite haphazardly thrown in. But a couple appear to be quite stacked and organised, like vitrines and cases, clearly Shaden's other stuff. And there's a thought of like, ooh, what's in here?
Okay.
So you can have a look at those on your next turn.
Cool.
Abernathy, what would you like to do?
I think he would look up, see Lilith having just kind of risen from the dead, and see the body of, well, I'd see Shaden's body.
You see Shaden's body.
And what I would like, he's going to twin a healing word. And it's one will kind of this the same color as your suit, it's bright green, isn't it? Come out kind of inky to heal you, and that same turquoisey with orange sparks come off towards you. And then turn black and turn brown, turn black and turn black ink, but come back into Abernathy.
That's really nice.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
But it will also heal me. But,
That was
but the intent would be there.
That's really
Wow.
Oh my god.
How much you heal me, bro?
Sorry,
How much you heal me, bro?
I don't know yet.
Very bad idea.
You can be. Do you like orange or purple? You're purple.
Don't mind.
You get more.
Yes, wonderful.
You get 6. I get 5.
I can literally see someone making an annotated meme of like the nice stream underneath being like the flavour player, and then it bending back and it just saying min-max. Also, I can't
Fans,
blame
make it. Good.
Perfect.
Yeah, well, but that is a bonus action.
That is a bonus action.
And a sorry, admin.
Sorcerer admin.
I also realised I spent all the game like this. Hello,
Sorcerer admin.
This is way better. Let me just one moment, please.
Is it this?
Okay.
It is now because I'm taking more longer over it.
You've cast a spell as a bonus action. You still have movement and an action.
But so we're right up against the.
You are. There's now a hand interposed that's holding it from moving forward any further.
Sorry,
the statue and wall. Maximilian's earthen grasp
right.
is holding it.
So it's actually.
It's sort of. It's not going anywhere, but there are still floating daggers and swords.
Yes,
swords.
I want to have a look at. Oh no, it's not going to be anything because I already know. Oh, that's metagaming. I want to look at the actual hand and see if there's anything we can do to the statue's outstretched hand. Like
you can't see the outstretched hand because it's covered by.
Oh, the entire thing is covered.
The earthen grasp has sort of come out of the floor and is now holding the entire statue and wall at bay. It's really big. Like it's a medium-sized creature, so it's like width of this corridor holding it back.
Well, if I can't see anything to even inspect to see if there's a way I can stop it, then I'm just going to cast Major Armor on myself.
Sensible.
Good idea. Yeah.
Right. Daggers.
It looks the same. You've got the same effect going.
The two that are with your body, they don't have any concept that you're not alive anymore. So it's going to
keep hacking.
Keep going. And they just tonk at this point.
I understand.
The two that are afloat. Oh, it is your turn. I'm sorry.
Thank God.
Two daggers continue to
delaying me now.
stab at the body.
I'm not going to help you. I'm going to look for.
I know. Yes.
I look for a paintbrush.
Roll me an investigation check. As you dig through this pile of stuff that's been thrown in quite haphazardly. Looking through it, you realise it's not been like placed. It's been like, get this stuff somewhere. Yeah.
17.
As you dig through, you reach through, and there are various objects. There's a sort of pouch, and as you go to the pouch and open it, inside is a palette, a paintbrush. And you recognise it from the exhibition. It is all the stuff you're looking for.
I take the whole pouch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at Cohen and go up next to him and sadly look through some bars like, oh.
Well, this is a problem.
We can't see anything. We just see the back of the wall.
And again, this glyph is really visible to the audience, but not to either of you.
Why didn't they turn right?
Yeah, so none of you know. You two don't know.
No.
I mean, if you take an actual...
No, investigation check's been taken to find the paintbrush.
Yeah.
You found what you were looking for.
I cannot say anything.
Nothing.
One dagger on each of you. Steve, 12?
Yeah.
You just cast Mage Armor.
Oh, yes or no?
14.
Thank you, sorry.
Yes.
Just hits.
I cast shield.
Does not hit. The two daggers are still floating around, and one flies at you and would have hit you, but hits the paint version of you, this sort of Van Gogh imitation thing you're floating around you. It actually works a bit like an illusion. It sort of...
Oh, yeah.
Like confused it didn't hit you. And while the one that's flying towards you is going to go and use shield up, and boom, it goes flying down the corridor and turns around, comes flying straight back.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, flying daggers. Lilith.
I have a very stupid idea.
I have them all the time. They never work. Try it.
Great. I yell back, Viorica's dead. I'm going to try and fix it. And I...
Oh, God. What are you going to do?
Yeah, do we hear that?
Vaguely, muffled.
Okay, are you going to send me to the astral sea? Is this what's going to happen?
While you're there, if you could just tell me. Yeah, that'd be great. Cheers.
I'm going to press you for time, Anne. Sorry.
No, I understand. I will cast Expeditious Retreat, run up to Viorica's body, grab Viorica's body.
Still two daggers chonking away at it.
Yeah, as an action, grab the body, because my movement is now 60 feet. Run up to the door, say Alethra, and chuck us both out of the door.
I don't understand any of what just happened.
Oh, wow.
I'm moving real
door?
fast.
What, Alethra?
She is running to the door that she arcane locked, the door that you came in.
Yeah.
Opens it, grabs Viorica's body, and
that's
jumps
password.
out.
I definitely forgot the password. Okay.
You're amazing. Thank you.
How's this?
The daggers get attacks of opportunity.
I don't know.
You're dead.
But I thought I thought his body was the pincushion.
It was, but they get attacks of opportunity and something has just run past them and taken their toy away.
Expeditious retreat.
The expeditious retreat just makes you fast, doesn't give you doesn't have attacks of opportunity.
Sure. Okay, yeah, but my AC is now 19, just so you're more.
Because you've got a shield, yeah. The highest one there is a 17. As you run past, you grab the Orica and shout the code word and open the door. And the door opens up. On the far side of the door, there's no one there, just the stairs going up. But you can hear shouts and people running down the stairs as you both land in a heap on the floor. The daggers float after you and get to where the door is and just wait there.
Oh, that's...
Then realise someone's still in the corridor and turn around and go back towards Abernathy. Right.
Can I yell?
Yes?
Well, who are you looked at? Who do you look like right now?
Shaden.
Shaden is dead. I need your best healers, and I will yell that up the stairs.
Okay, fine. I think we get a shot of Shaden on the stairs going, what?
Yeah. Sure. I don't care. This is Lilith's plan.
That's a really good plan.
No. That's lovely.
At least.
There are still 2 flying swords floating around, just you now, because you're the only person in the corridor.
The problem is that whenever I die in this game, then someone's just like, I've got an idea. It's like, don't do this to me unless it's going to work. Yeah. No, it's great. Like, please keep trying.
I don't know what else I'm reading.
No, it's perfect. It's
13 and 11, both swords. You're just in a sea of these floating daggers and swords, all trying to hit you as you dodge out the way of all of them. But you're on your own in the corridor, and they're all on you now.
Oh my god.
Cohen.
We're fine.
What would you like to do?
Hit the glyph!
I've got to go back in time and do the bit where I aggro all the creatures because I'm really good at having a high AC and distracting things. But instead, what I'll do is
Not split the party. It would have also been a thing we could have done.
I go through the cases that caught my eye, looking for magical items of power. Something.
Jewels.
Sure, from an investigation check.
Which is unfortunately one of my worst skills. But he's still good at rolling dice. So I think that's just a 19.
As you dig through these various cases, you do see a whole bunch of things you don't understand that are like mechanical contraptions where they can fire nets, like strange mechanical, look like limb extenders, that like you can got longer hands, things like that. There's all sorts of weird and wacky things in here. One thing with a 19 that immediately catches your eye is what looks like a sort of hand gauntlet, but it's got sort of servos and gears all over it.
Stick it now. This is the most common thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
Cursed, by the way.
It's got 5 sort of little indentations.
Yes!
Green, not purple. The green character doesn't do well out of it. Okay, so...
Oh, come on.
I haven't seen it yet.
Wow! Ready to press for time.
Anyway, niche in-jokes aside, not that niche, but... okay, it looks good. I'll pick it up and put it on.
Cool. Your strength score is now effectively 20.
Yes!
With that one hand, stylistically.
Yeah. Do I feel that? In any
It's
way?
not a magic item.
So it just feels like I'm wearing a glove.
It feels like you're wearing, but also, wow. Like it's that feeling.
What's his name? Ash in against the army of the evil dead when he picks up the thing and just crushes the thing and everyone's like, oh, he goes, perfect.
I've not seen it, but...
Damn it. All right.
I go up to... I probably don't have the action time to do this, but I'm going to run up to the portcullis and try and wrench it.
Yes!
It's one hand, so it's probably lifting.
Yeah,
Lift, bruh. But yeah, there'll be a thing there
I
in
stretch.
a minute.
He really does.
Abernathy, what would you like to do?
How far away from the exit from Lilith am I?
Lilith has run 50 feet away from you. Oh no,
Because it was a 50-foot room, but
60 feet.
You're right, 40 foot away.
Just out the door, yeah.
Just out the doorway.
Now, casting spells whilst...
Running.
Oh no, okay. No, because that would be an action. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I cast a spell with only a verbal component,
Yes?
does that invoke opportunity attacks?
No?
Great.
Go on, what you can do.
I'm just
Opportunity
gonna-
attacks are only on movement.
Yeah. Yells back. I'm sorry, Ashakti. I don't think I can help. I have to go. Tell Cohen to look after you. And then I'm going to misty step 30 feet and run the rest of the way.
That's bloody clever.
Yeah.
You're not going to miss it. Oh, you have to somewhere you can see, and you can't see into the room.
Yeah.
You miss a step away from all the daggers, and then use your movement to get out.
And Alethra? I forgot the right. What's the name?
Door's already open. Door's already open.
Oh, right.
That's fine.
Oh yeah, great. But I think I
can
saw
see me.
the fact that the daggers stopped. I can see the fact that to take opportunity attacks from the daggers.
No, you.
No.
Oh, there are
because it's
there
on
are
the
two.
first
way.
Yes,
There.
two are still going to come straight towards you as you run.
Great. Oh.
8 and a 9.
Oh no, it's not like you've done your worst already.
Gosh. You manage to dodge out the way, and they go flying past you and leap out the door onto the pile of people, just landing on top of all of them. And you can hear footsteps still coming down the stairs above you, but they're still quite a long way away.
I'm still.
Yes. Daggers have no targets. Lilith, is there anything you want to do at this point? Or can we move back into this room?
Is it not my turn? Oh, well, that's turn.
Oh, no. God damn it. It's your turn. Sorry. No, it's initiative trackers and me not using them properly. My fault, not the tracker.
I'm like, I heard the first thing, then I heard the second thing. I'm just going to say, like, Abernathy? Lilith? Viorica?
Muffled hear her voice from the far side of the stone wall, and your hand is still up.
And then I'm going to, like, look at Cohen, and then I'm going to try and chaos bolt the wall through the portcullis.
You're going to try and chaos bolt the wall through the portcullis?
The wall
Okay.
is what I'm going to try and do.
Okay.
I can't remember how to roll dice.
Hey!
Oh!
Stonk!
Natural 20. I'm just like I'm like she's gone all mad chaos again, and it's like sparking through, and she's not controlling it.
Roll me a wild magic surge as well while we're here.
Which is this,
Yeah,
right?
this was a 1.
That's a 3.
Okay.
Okay, can you roll me all the damage on the Chaos Bolt and double it,
Yeah,
please? And tell me what type of damage it is.
First level Chaos Bolt. So the first lot of numbers give me
Looks like
I'm gonna do cold damage again.
Cold damage again,
I
fine.
don't think psychic's gonna be that great against
No,
the
it is
wall.
not. As proven, that is what this is all about.
That was 10 on the first
You can just double that if you like.
set.
Hang on, out of that, yes, that's over the average. If you double it.
I could also there was a 2 and a 1 and there was a 7 and a 2 and a 1, but I could also re-roll the 2 and the 1 by spending a sorcerer point.
Please do.
Really? Okay.
I can't remember what it was though.
You roll the 2.
Which one was which?
The one
was which?
one was definitely on the
one was on the
6-sided. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
so it's 1, 8, and 1, 6 to re-roll.
Yeah.
And then you can just double that entire number because
Yes,
it's crit.
that would be better
make
for me.
sense, yeah.
So I'm going to use a sorcery point to do an empowered spell and re-roll up to 4 of the dice, and I'm going to re-roll the 2 and the 1.
Yeah, it's fine.
And keep the 7. That's now 4 and a 2, so
13.
26.
so 26 points of damage.
You look down the corridor, and where this statue in your earthen glass, there's the wall almost glows, and then there's a sort of, and the hand just like moves forward randomly and hits the ground. Like there's a weird moment of the hand not being sure what to do because its target is completely like you've just shattered your way through the entire thing. The daggers and the swords are still there.
That's it.
Right. Lilith, is there anything you particularly want to do?
So, are they out of the...
You can now get past to the cell door they're both at, but there are daggers and swords in the way.
They aren't attacking you at the moment, but if you go anywhere near them, you will.
And there are people coming down the stairs and shouting as well.
I don't want to leave Viorica's dead body.
You can carry Viorica's body. Between the two of you can carry him.
But where are we going to go? Like, what's the end of this corridor? What do I see at the end of this corridor?
There's a
Stairs?
Well, no. At the end of this corridor is a glyph of Gond on the wall that looks like it's been drawn on. It's magical. But the thing that it was empowering is gone, so it doesn't matter. Although it would affect the swords and the daggers as well.
So...
Just so you know.
So
There's
fine.
no other way out.
Sorry?
There's no other way out.
There's no back entrance to the vault.
There's no back entrance.
There's no back entrance. No other way out.
Right, and is the bar still up in?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The Maximilian Earthen's grab's going to try and grab at the bars and pull at the bar.
Great. Okay.
Like do that because I can move it to a different target.
Oh, you can now see through the hole in the wall, so you're going to
Yeah, so I can see, and the hand's gone.
Thanks.
So I was just going to try and pull at the bar.
What the hand? Yeah, what the wall has to make a strength check.
I think so.
Well, the wall can't make a strength check, so draw the damage on the portcullis.
Oh, it's damage, it's not.
4.
A hand sort of boom.
I'm mad.
Is starting to pull the portcullis out of the wall. It is now your turn, Cohen. You
I'm
could,
going to make it harder to
because the swords have nothing to do. It is now your turn. You can try and help it by pushing out as well.
Yeah, basically, I use newfound hydraulic hand thing to try and help break the portcullis.
Roll me an athletics check.
Athletics check. And I am considered to have a strength score of 20 now.
Yes.
Sweetness. So
It's more dramatic, you know.
5.
that's plus 5, and then I don't think I'm proficient in athletics, but I get plus 1 because
you're a bard.
Because I'm funny. 18.
18. Kong! Where the hand was trying to like pull it out, you just boom. But as you do, the servos in the glove just ping, 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 ping. Like it clearly wasn't designed to be more than like a look what it can do, conk. Like you've actually broken it by doing this, and all these and it's clearly broken. Like your hand's sort of half stuck in a claw. You can pull your hand out.
Okay, it's not mashed up my arm enough.
No, this Infinity Gauntlet is terrible. So you've
It's Infinity Gauntlet.
finite gauntlet. You have Kong slammed down this door, and you can now
Does it
get
fall
out.
over?
Yeah, it just pushes straight out into the corridor.
Okay.
Good work.
That is your action.
I've got movement. I go out into the corridor and
Various daggers and swords.
see that. And I guess I would look for an exit, not see one. And then you're there.
I'm at the far end.
Through
She
a hole
is
in the
50
wall,
feet away from you.
Through another door.
Well, I mean, the wall and the statue that you hit have just disintegrated into various pieces all over the floor.
Do I see the glyph?
Yeah, real obvious.
I'm gonna run to the glyph because I don't know that much about magic. But
Well, you don't have an action, so
Hit it.
movement.
you move up to it and you can verbally go, this is the problem. That's totally fine.
A targeting icon appears in your HUD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abernathy, you are with Lilith and Viorica at the far side of this corridor. Is there anything you want to do? The steps coming down the stairs and the shouting are getting very, very close.
I mean, if we've seen them coming out, or because you've helped.
You have seen that people are
wait
there,
for
but you've
them.
still got daggers and swords in the corridor.
Yeah. It's just you're probably going to hit, like, to measure it, you're probably going to hit the glyph and things are going to stop. But my initial response was, I'm going to hold a...
Sales.
I was gonna hold a mage armor at distance for when a shouty gets within 30 feet of me. Presumably that would be then before the swords and daggers will attack. So that is what I'm going to
You'll lose the
do,
spell
and I'll
slot.
lose the spell slot. But I think that's what
Flavor comes again.
Split.
Right, Ashakti, it is your turn. Cohen has said this is clearly the problem.
Would I lose the sorcery point also?
Nah, I'm not that cruel.
Do I have any idea how glyphs work?
No,
At all.
not a Scooby. In fact, roll an Arcana check.
Go on.
Like,
You rolled a 24.
Germany thinks that hitting them probably isn't the solution, but I don't know.
Oh, I feel like it's just. I just feel like it's a scratch cards kind of.
It is clearly painted onto the wall.
Arcana.
But this is
Prestidigitation.
Synthetic 20.
Ooh.
You can just mar a glyph and it stops working. As in, you can just literally
Smudge it.
Yeah, smudge
Like
it.
Simber it.
Yeah,
Kid.
you can simber it. Yeah, that's right.
Similar bitch.
I know how this works. I'm going to...
You run up to where Cohen is.
Yeah, and I'm just like...
You get covered in soot all over. And as you do, ding, 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 all the swords and daggers fall to the ground inanimate.
that was easier than I thought it would be.
We are out of initiative. We are also very tight on time. Tell me what you would like to do. There are people running down the stairs towards you. What would you like to do?
I mean, I take it you're still looking really bad. I would cure wounds on... I would start by curing wounds on Lilith at second level.
Fine. Are you moving down the corridor and taking Viorica with you, or what are you doing?
I'm sorry, I'm waiting. I was imagining we were waiting for them.
I'm running. I'm going to run over to
I don't have
them.
another plan other than pretending that we are actually the real people.
Upon seeing there's no exit, I probably cast invisibility on myself.
I can see you.
Oh yeah!
Amazing!
That's a
Yes!
So,
Colin, what are you doing?
when I cast invisibility, do I look different? Like does
I
the
know
chat
it's
team
cast
know I've got invisible?
invisibility?
Or do
Yes,
I
you've
just
got
look
sort of blue
nothing
aura.
changed?
No, a rainbow-coloured aura, sure.
Yeah.
Rainbow aura. You got a rainbow aura.
Yeah, so I have gone invisible, and then I'll head back towards kind of the group. I'll message you saying, and then I'll message everyone relevant to inform them I'm invisible.
Wait, everyone relevant? Do you mean
Sharpteeth,
alive?
give him the paintbrush now.
What? Who? I don't understand.
Give him the paintbrush now.
Who?
You can see him.
Give it to me.
Oh, you! You said him! I don't know. He's the painter. I don't know. I give him the paintbrush.
You're holding a bag.
It goes
I give him the whole bag.
And nothing but
The
the
voices
bag.
and shouting are getting closer.
What happened, Viorica?
He's dead.
No, we were supposed to look after him. We were going to look after him. We had to look after him. Make him do the thing. Do the paint thing.
I tried it. It didn't work.
They must have a very adept healer probably here.
Yeah, rich people have healers. Super rich people have healers. That's how that works.
In your head, you hear, take the brush.
Wow, no.
I mean, I could try again, but I might need the brush.
What?
I don't know. Clearly this is all very new to me, but Colin,
More shouts, more running.
quickly, Colin, just try it now.
Oh my god.
Let me just put my hand on it, and then as soon as I'm done, run.
You
Okay?
can save us. Fine, and then, yeah, you got it.
So I'll hold it. I'll cast.
The moment you touch the brush, the moment that you touch it, you get
It was explicitly cursed.
images running through your head, ideas, thoughts. The options are literally endless. You could get them out. You could make Viorica alive again. You can do literally anything. At least that's how you feel. And that's where we have to end today.
Oh my god.
Oh, we are so tight on time.
Okay.
So much to unpack in the next one. Okay, thank you everyone. Got to get through a script. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed tonight, we're playing every Monday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on this channel and Adventurers Wanted, twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. We also have other shows. You can find out about them on our Twitter, Adventurers250, and on other social media outlets. We're also on Patreon. If you can support us there, that would be absolutely splendid. Yeah. Massive thank you to D&D Beyond and Ultra Pro, where you can win this wonderful dice bag if you engage in the chat now. We have to go.
We really have
thank
to go.
you, everyone. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.